Chapter 1598. Mrs. Shao is reasoning. The situation remained unchanged. Pride emanated unabated, and her words lacked any semblance of courtesy. Princess Consort seemed to be seething with anger from the previous day, as evidenced by Auntie Liang's unapologetic revelation. Employing both gentle persuasion and coercive tactics, she made clear the repercussions if Chao Xian failed to prevent Shao Yunduan from departing the capital. His career would crumble, and Chao Xian would bear the blame. Auntie Liang spared no criticism, accusing Chao Xian of pettiness, selfishness, and callousness. Despite being unscathed, she insisted on feigning distress, jeopardizing her husband's future. In Auntie Liang's eyes, she was nothing more than a foolish and unruly woman. Infuriated by these words, Chao Xian scoffed, retorting, "My well-being is a result of my own capabilities, not someone else's mercy. Why shouldn't I prioritize myself? While my life may not hold the same value as Princess Consort's own grandson, I still value it." Auntie Liang's response was icy. "You should refrain from discussing such matters in front of your superiors. Madame Shao has resided in the capital long enough to grasp this basic principle." Despite her shorter tenure in the capital, Chao Xian shot back, "I've heard of the principle that a prince and a commoner face equal consequences. Have you not? Your emphasis on seniority doesn't grant the authority to take another's life. Dare you assert that publicly, Auntie Liang? Why bother with the Ministry of Justice, Great Justice Temple, and the Heavenly Mansion? If superiority is the only measure, disputes could be resolved by determining who is more eminent." Auntie Liang erupted, "Madame Shao, you are being unreasonable." Dismissing her with disdain, Chao Xian retorted, "I stand on the right side of reason. What about you? Besides hounding me, what else do you comprehend?" Auntie Liang trembled in response. Chao Xian exuded an air of arrogance. She raised the corner of her eyes, narrowing them at Auntie Liang. "Auntie Liang, do you have anything else to say? If not, please leave." "No. Even if I did, explaining it to Madame Shao would be futile." Auntie Liang sneered, locking eyes with Chao Xian. "I will report everything you said to Princess Consort." Chao Xian nodded, unwavering. "Then, Auntie Liang, you must keep your promise." Auntie Liang found herself at a loss for words. Too arrogant. Unbearably arrogant. How could she? Chao Xian remained composed. "Avoid exaggeration. Stick to the truth. Any deviation is on your conscience." Unable to endure any longer, Auntie Liang snorted heavily and left, wearing a furious expression. Chao Xian paid her no mind. Once Auntie Liang departed, she gathered Lixia, Liqiu, Mian Mian, and Yi and set off for Zhang Sang's residence in the north of the city. Having received the address from Zhang Sang and the others, locating their destination wasn't challenging. However, as the road grew dirtier, bumpier, and more disorderly, and the surroundings turned increasingly dilapidated, Chao Xian was taken aback. She hadn't anticipated such squalor beneath the emperor's jurisdiction. This served as a stark reminder that the past and present shared similarities. Regardless of a city's development and prosperity, impoverished individuals persisted in the lower classes, and the areas where they congregated often went overlooked. Not only was the locale unkempt and chaotic, but the roads were also in terrible condition, resembling a maze. Ramshackle, short shanties dotted the landscape, highlighting the stark disparity within the city. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1599. Visit. Perhaps due to the rarity of carriages traversing this area, the deeper they ventured, the more curious onlookers gathered. Many children trailed behind them, their laughter and screams filling the air. After navigating through a labyrinthine small alley, Yi guided the carriage past two sizable puddles, ultimately halting in front of a large, run-down courtyard. Two robust locust trees stood outside the courtyard, their trunks resembling a tight embrace. The red bricks, half the height of a person, formed a dilapidated wall. Moss clung to the base, and the outer surface exhibited mottled patterns, revealing a grayish-white decay. Wind and rain had eroded the original courtyard doors, now reduced to shambles. Though patched up, the wooden boards looked even more weathered, emphasizing the overall dilapidation. Approaching, Lixia gently knocked on the door. It creaked open slightly. Surprised, she called inside. "Is anyone here?" Does Mr. Xianxia reside in this place? A stir echoed within the yard. Soon, an elderly woman cautiously opened the door, scrutinizing Wuxia with cloudy eyes. She inquired, "Miss, who are you?" Several children, both boys and girls, clustered behind the old lady. Clad in worn, patched clothing, they appeared small and frail. The oldest seemed no more than 6 or 7 years old, while the youngest was a mere 3 years old. Timid yet curious gazes met Wuxia's. Shyly, they averted their eyes, offering tentative and bashful smiles. Wuxia reciprocated with a hurried smile and explained, "We are friends of Mr. Xiang's old master and madam. We had agreed to visit Mr. Zhang 2 days ago. Is he at home?" The old lady exclaimed. "Ah." Then with a smile she said, "Your little Zhang's friend? Come in, come in. Yan Jing, come back with Uncle Zhang." The 2 children nodded and scurried away. Several more elderly men emerged from the house, inquiring about the purpose of their visit. Chao Xian extended a warm greeting, a smile lighting up her face as she entered with Wuxia and Yi. Initially a bit apprehensive, the elderly men quickly eased their nerves in the presence of Chao Xian's amiable demeanor and gentle tone. They graciously invited her to take a seat in the room. The courtyard, initially spacious, now teemed with structures. Besides the mud houses, there were wooden buildings with thatched roofs, exhibiting signs of age and decay. Despite the limited space, the small area accommodated various crops like garlic sprouts, green onions, and coriander. Understandably, with over 70 people residing here, the crowded conditions necessitated such construction. "We don't have much here, and the place is a bit messy. Madam Shao, please forgive us," one of the elders apologized. "It's absolutely fine, don't worry. You're very welcome." Chao Xian reassured them. Having anticipated the sizable group, Chao Xian had brought ample food supplies. The 3 baskets unloaded from the wagon were brimming with pork, mutton, eggs, carrots, cabbages, winter melons, tofu, dried beans, dried mushrooms, various snacks, fresh apples, pears, dates, and more. Additionally, 10 live chickens and 30 caddies of rice and noodles rounded out the provisions. Expressing profound gratitude, the elders conveyed their thanks, while the children's eyes sparkled with desire as they gazed at the array of offerings. Chao Xian, maintaining her warm demeanor, instructed Mian Mian to open a packet of peanuts and sesame candy for everyone to enjoy. "If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 1600. Proposal. The children hesitated, glancing at the elders for approval. Amused, the elders encouraged them. "Go on, take it. Thank Madam Shao." Only then did the children break into cheers, expressing their gratitude softly. Zhang Sang and his brothers, who happened to be at a warehouse a few streets away transporting goods, quickly delegated their tasks to rush back upon hearing the news. Despite a prompt return, it took more than half an hour for them to reach their residence. "Madam Shao." Zhang Sang, having washed up and changed his clothes, entered the hall with an apologetic expression. "I'm sorry. I had no idea you were coming today." Chao Xian reassured him with a smile. "I understand that you're busy. Waiting a bit longer is no trouble at all. Brother Zheng, you're very welcome." Zhang Sang smiled and proceeded to introduce Chao Xian to the elders. Aware that Chao Xian was the same Ms. Chao who had assisted their children a few days ago, the elders expressed their gratitude with smiles. After a brief exchange of pleasantries, it became evident that Zhang Sang had matters to discuss with Chao Xian, prompting everyone else to take their leave. "Madam Shao, thank you so much." Assuming Chao Xian and Shao Yunduan's visit was merely a formality, Zhang Sang was pleasantly surprised by Chao Xian's presence and the generous offering she brought. Chao Xian smiled, surveying the room, and addressed Zhang Sang straightforwardly. "I can see that you're a straightforward man, so I won't beat around the bush. It must be challenging for you to lead such a large family." Zhang Sang wore a bitter smile. Among the group were the disabled, the sick, the elderly, the young, the frail, the women, and the children, all already burdened with hardships. With no family background to support them, their sorrow was palpable. "Since our paths have crossed, I have an offer for you. Would you be open to considering it?" Had it been General Sun or the Crown Prince, Zhang Sang would have promptly declined. However, contemplating Chao Xian's proposal, he hesitated before responding, "Please go on." Having witnessed Xiao Xian's compassion and equality in their treatment, particularly towards the rescued children, Zhang Sang sensed a genuine sincerity. Xiao Xian smiled, elaborating, "We own a farm in Cloudwater Town with over 200 mu, and I am planning to acquire several hundred more mu. The land requires cultivation and care. If Brother Zhang is willing, why not join us? For us, matters of public and private concern are private. We'll provide you with housing, accommodation, farming tools, employ you for cultivation under a contract, and ensure monthly remuneration. Additionally, we'll allocate 3 mu of land for your personal kitchen garden. You can grow a variety of vegetables for personal consumption. If there are leftovers, you can even raise chickens and ducks. What do you think? If you're interested, we can discuss the details later." Zhang Sang chuckled, surprised that Madame Shao, as an official's wife, possessed such practicality and knowledge of raising chickens and ducks. Nevertheless, he couldn't deny the appeal of the offer. Temptation tugged at him. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1601. Tempted. Despite receiving 300 taels of silver from General Sun and 200 taels each from the Crown Prince's and the Fourth Prince's residences, they had used a substantial portion to procure medicines for their tortured brothers. The expenses included high-quality ginseng and Ganoderma lucidum, totaling over 100 taels. Remaining cautious, they refrained from touching the remaining silver, preserving it for future herbal remedies and the upcoming winter. Their lack of business knowledge deterred them from taking financial risks. Madame Shao's proposal offered a long-term solution, providing not just a place to settle down but also stable employment. Furthermore, the promise of 3 mu of land for vegetable cultivation and raising chickens and ducks was particularly enticing. Aunt Zhang and Aunt Lu, who had always harbored dreams of poultry farming, now saw an opportunity to realize their aspirations. "To be honest, your suggestion is truly tempting. Are there any specific requirements?" Zhang Sang inquired. Xiao Xian, smiling at the chance to help, responded, "I have no special requirements. We cultivate a variety of crops each year: potatoes, watermelons, cantaloupes, and even turnips and cabbages in autumn. Your responsibilities would include farming, weeding, watering, and harvesting according to the seasonal demands. The children, being young, can attend school if they wish. We'll cover half the expenses, and the other half should be sufficient. As for wages, men aged 15 to 65 receive 3 taels of silver monthly, while women receive 2 taels. For those between 12 and 15, the monthly wage is 2 taels. Those below 12 are not included. In addition, on the 15th of August every year, and during the Spring Festival, we distribute rewards. Everyone receives a minimum of 2 taels of silver, along with provisions such as rice, flour, oil, cloth, and more. Every year, 2 sets of clothing, shoes, and socks for both spring and winter are also provided. This arrangement applies to everyone aged 12 to 65. Xiao Xian, however, did not extend these benefits to younger children and senile old men. It wasn't a matter of affordability, but rather an understanding that excessive generosity might not evoke gratitude but instead breed greed. It would also foster dissatisfaction among those who put in the effort to earn their wages. Not everyone might harbor such feelings, but the majority likely would. Xiao Xian held the belief that individuals like Zhang Sang and Lu Fu were good-hearted, yet she acknowledged the potential for less virtuous thoughts among them. With the offered conditions, Xiao Xian believed that as long as those capable of working exerted themselves, it would suffice to support others. Zhang Sang found the proposal increasingly tempting. He saw nothing amiss with Xiao Xian's arrangement. On the contrary, he deemed it highly reasonable. Recognizing that Xiao Xian owed them nothing and had extended a rare opportunity, he was more than willing to consider it. "Your terms are already very generous, much better than our current situation." Zhang Sang expressed gratitude with a smile and a sigh. "I thank you, sister-in-law. I'll discuss it with everyone tonight. Is Brother Yunduan at home tomorrow? I plan to visit him, or if the postnatal is fine too." Xiao Xian, pleased with Zhang Sang's positive response, felt reassured. If he found the proposal favorable, the others would likely share the sentiment. It was genuinely a beneficial offer. "All right, I'll eagerly await the good news from you, Brother Zhang. Why don't we meet tomorrow? In fact, Our manor was initially looking to hire workers. It's not a special arrangement for you, Brother Zhang. Please don't overthink it, Xiao suggested with a warm smile. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1602. Promise Jingsang expressed his gratitude with a grateful smile and a nod. Regardless, I must thank you, sister-in-law. As Xiao Xian took her leave, several elderly individuals and children gathered around her. Zhang Sang, wearing a smile, remarked, "This is a positive development. Let's discuss it further tonight." For now, he chose to keep his words concise. Verbal explanations could be easily misconstrued, and it would prove challenging to clarify later on. It seemed prudent to wait until everyone had spoken their minds. Being trusted by everyone, Zhang Sang's affirmation carried weight. The anticipation among the group was palpable, especially among those like Wu Guan, Lu Changming, Lu Fu, and Qing Lian who had faith in Qiao Xian and Shao Yunduan. The positive impression of Qiao Xian further solidified as the elders and children interacted with her. In the evening, as those who had made up their minds gathered in the courtyard, the children huddled together eagerly awaiting the news. Zhang Sang conveyed the details of Qiao Xian's proposal. As expected, the atmosphere became joyous upon hearing the news. Wu Guan, Lu Changming, Lu Fu, and Qing Lian, staunch supporters of Qiao Xian and Shao Yunduan, spoke in favor. Importantly, the current living conditions, grim and oppressive, fueled the collective desire for change. While the mutual support of the community provided solace, the daily struggle left them yearning for something more. Now, presented with a potential path to hope, the temptation was undeniable. Despite the challenges, it seemed no worse than their current situation. The prospect of improvement was too enticing to ignore. Wu Guan and the others, familiar with Shao Yunduan and Qiao Xian, grew anxious, fearing that someone might miss the opportunity to visit the Shao mansion. They urged Zhang Sang to make the visit the following morning. Brother Yunduan and sister-in-law won't deceive us. There's no need for that. They are being kind. We just have to work hard and not let them down. That's right. This is a rare opportunity. If we miss it, I'm afraid it won't come again. Auntie Qiao is so gentle and good. I hope to see her often in the future. Brother Zhang, you must agree. This is good for all of us. Zhang Sang, already enticed by the idea, observed everyone sharing the same positive opinion. He nodded with a smile saying, "In that case, I'll go over and inform them tomorrow. If we can settle it, we'll do so as soon as possible." That is great. All right. Cheers erupted, resonating like the joy of the new year. Witnessing the collective happiness, Zhang Sang felt a sense of relief, as if a heavy burden had been lifted from his shoulders. He couldn't help but laugh. Early the next morning, Zhang Sang, accompanied by Wu Guan and Lu Changming, visited the Shao residence. Although Qing Lian and Qiao Qiao expressed their desire to go, and other children wanted to join, Zhang Sang decided to go alone. Having informed Shao Yunduan about the matter the previous day, Shao Yunduan had taken a day off. In the morning, Zhang Sang and the others arrived to convey their gratitude and acceptance of Shao Yunduan's goodwill. Qiao Xian, brimming with smiles, and the couple began discussing the details. Observing Lu Fu and Qing Lian, Qiao Xian noted that Zhang Sang had instilled good values in the children. The youngsters, despite their worn clothes, had made an effort to appear tidy. Living in the dilapidated slums, their efforts to maintain cleanliness and order in the crowded courtyard did not go unnoticed. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1603. Coercion. They were grappling with poverty and despair, yet they faced the world with smiles and kindness. Qiao Xian observed no signs of extreme bitterness, hatred, cynicism, cunningness, or deceit in them. These individuals carried their own stories and had reached this point due to helplessness. The innocent eyes and pure hearts of the children moved Qiao Xian deeply. While she couldn't be their savior, she could extend help to those destined for it. Rather than merely providing financial support to 70 to 80 people, Qiao Xian believed in the principle of teaching them to fish, not just giving them fish. Recognizing that the manor needed additional manpower, Qiao Xian saw an opportunity to arrange for them to work there. Trusting Zhang Sang, She considered him capable of overseeing the manor in their absence. As for Xianxia, leaving with them was a natural course of action. Qiao Xian had limited personnel under her, and they were essential. During their discussions, Qiao Xian involved Xianxia and Qing Yan in the decision-making process. Given the shortage of housing in the manor, Xianxia's insights into suitable locations proved invaluable. After an entire morning of discussions and scheduling an appointment with Xianxia to bring the group to the manor the next day, Xianxia and the others departed. Further details would be ironed out between Xianxia and Xianxia, with those still undecided communicating their expenditures to Qiao Xian. Shao Yunduan requested that Qiao Xian refrain from going out for the next few days. Gradually, whispers of gossip circulated from the outside. Allegedly, due to Lord Shao's desire for release, Princess Consort sent Madame Shao to the prince's mansion, reprimanding her for not being virtuous enough to care for her husband. The insinuation was that Lord Shao's thoughts wouldn't have strayed if Madame Shao had been more attentive, leading to accusations of jealousy and disrespect. In summary, Madame Shao faced severe scolding from Princess Consort, leaving her trembling and pale as she exited the mansion. Upon hearing the rumors, the recovered Auntie Fu reported to Princess Consort. Startled by the news, Princess Consort's initial concern was whether some maids had leaked the information. Consequently, she summoned all the maids and interrogated them. Frightened, the maids knelt and begged for mercy, vehemently swearing not to utter a word to anyone. Princess Consort, known for her strictness with the crown prince and other noble ladies, had left everyone too terrified to speak when Madame Shao had angered her. Her resolve not to let Madame Shao off was unwavering. Boldly reminding Princess Consort, Auntie Liang voiced her concerns. Princess Consort, we don't have the courage to do that, but it's hard to predict what Madame Shao might do. Others, finding someone to shift blame to, echoed this sentiment. Princess Consort frowned, contemplating the situation. It hadn't occurred to her before that Madame Shao might not keep this incident a secret. In her perspective, Qiao Xian would want to keep the matter private. Why would she disclose it to anyone? Wouldn't she feel embarrassed to publicize it? Auntie Fu sighed inwardly, gently attempting to persuade Princess Consort. Princess Consort, Auntie Liang has been your loyal servant for many years and would never dare to defy you. However, in this world, keeping secrets between two people is challenging. Perhaps Madame Shao's maid might unintentionally say something. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1604. Anger. Princess Consort nodded slowly, acknowledging the possibility. It made sense to her that the leak might have come from within Madame Shao's household. With a sneer, she commented, Miss Qiao is so incompetent that she can't even manage her maids. Auntie Fu sighed internally, wondering why Princess Consort was fixating on this matter. Princess Consort, if it's a misunderstanding, why not ask them to leave? Auntie Fu suggested. Leave. Princess Consort commanded, prompting everyone to express their thanks and hastily depart, relieved to escape the situation. As the room cleared, Auntie Fu hesitated before speaking. Princess Consort, the sudden spread of this news is unusual. I didn't dare hide it from you, and the rumors aren't favorable. This doesn't seem normal. Unperturbed, Princess Consort sneered. Since the rumor has spread, let it be. It's not far from the truth anyway. Ms. Qiao isn't exactly virtuous or free from jealousy, is she? Let her feel the repercussions of being feared by others. I had intended to save her some face, but she probably wouldn't be appreciative even if I did. Curiously, she inquired, what are the rumors circulating outside? Auntie Fu sighed ruefully. Even if Princess Consort hadn't asked, she would have had to explain. She recounted the gossip, revealing that there were murmurs about Lord Shao intending to depart the capital for training, a common occurrence. However, the Crown Prince opposed this idea, leading to tension between them. Subsequently, Princess Consort summoned Madame Shao, aiming to dissuade Lord Shao from leaving the capital and remaining an official there. Despite Madame Shao's loyalty to her husband, Princess Consort resorted to force and humiliation, pressuring her to halt Lord Shao's departure. Princess Consort's actions aimed to manipulate Madame Shao into halting Lord Shao's plans by exploiting their marital bond. To the extent that when Madame Shao departed, she wept and had to be assisted into the carriage. Princess Consort's countenance darkened. Auntie Fu shared more detailed information, further fueling Princess Consort's anger. Nonsense. It's all nonsense. When did I beat, scold, or humiliate her? What threats? Complete nonsense. I am the one who's angered by her. Unaware of the events of that day, Auntie Fu found it implausible that Xiao Xian could commit such audacious acts. Ordered by Princess Consort to remain silent, Auntie Liang couldn't shed light on the situation. Seeking clarification, Auntie Fu asked, Princess Consort, what did Madame Shao say that day? Annoyed, Princess Consort frowned. It's not a pleasant matter. I don't wish to discuss it further. Auntie Fu found herself at a loss for words. After a pause, she raised a concern. Princess Consort, I don't know if the Crown Prince will inquire. Princess Consort's eyelids twitched, sensing trouble. Indeed, the positive efforts had backfired. The Crown Prince confronted her angrily, demanding, What did the Princess Consort say to Ms. Chao? Why are the rumors so damning? Princess Consort, you always value your reputation. What happened this time? Princess Consort's face turned purple, and she felt on the verge of tears. This humiliation was hard to bear, especially from the Crown Prince, who was the exception to others being rude to her. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1605. Crown Prince's cold heart because she cared too much. She cared about the Crown Prince's evaluation of her. She cared about her image in the Crown Prince's heart. She feared the existence of any flaws. I didn't say anything. I explained it to Madame Shao in detail. I told her that Lord Shao's future would be much better if he stayed in the capital. I was just trying to persuade Madame Shao to convince Lord Shao to give up. I don't know how it ended up like that. Crown Prince, don't you know what kind of person I am? The Crown Prince stared at her, his expression unreadable, leaving uncertainty about whether he believed her. Suddenly, he inquired, You reprimanded Ms. Chao for being selfish and jealous, and even claimed she was kidnapped. Is that true? Princess Consort froze, contemplating a rebuttal. Crown Prince continued, Officer Shao has already informed me, Princess Consort. Don't deceive me. If you lie to me too, I don't know if there is anyone I can trust. A pang of anguish gripped Princess Consort's heart. She grappled with mixed feelings of relief that the Crown Prince still trusted her and sorrow over his questioning. Yet, she couldn't deny the accusation. Ms. Chao infuriated me. So you did say that? Yes. But you can't blame me for that. Ms. Chao is so infuriating. She doesn't care about my dignity as the Princess Consort at all, and what she said is really hurtful. Crown Prince, you know that I have always been kind to others, but I don't know why Ms. Chao is so arrogant. This is the first time I've been so angry. The Crown Prince remained skeptical. What did she say? Reluctantly, Princess Consort disclosed the details, concealing her vulnerability in the process. Princess Consort's face flushed red, and the Crown Prince grew visibly agitated as he recounted the embarrassing details. Ms. Chao had indeed crossed a line. In one aspect, Princess Consort was right. Ms. Chao truly didn't comprehend the nuances of societal hierarchy. Suddenly, it dawned on the Crown Prince that Ms. Chao and Officer Shao had always been close. If Ms. Chao dared to make such statements, could it be Officer Shao's influence? Most likely, the realization struck him hard. The Crown Prince felt a chill in his heart, a profound sadness. It signified that Officer Shao's loyalty had wavered. He was no longer devoted to serving the Crown Prince. The Crown Prince felt a mixture of sorrow and desolation. Ms. Chao was unharmed, her reputation intact. Was it not proper for him to offer solace himself? Her unyielding stance stemmed from this. His fourth brother had saved his grandson's life. How could he turn a blind eye? If he failed to act, what would be left of his integrity? This could have been a situation with a favorable resolution. Why did it have to unravel like this? Princess Consort observed the Crown Prince, discerning his troubled state. It seemed that his thoughts were not solely focused on her. He harbored reservations about Xiao Xian as well. Exhaling quietly, she ventured, Crown Prince, there's a saying among the people, one must not stay in the intermediate. Since Lord Shao is resolute about leaving, why not grant his wish? He ventured out, faced a setback, and naturally, he pondered the benefits of remaining in the capital, considering your earnest attempts to convince him. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1606. Young Master Xie's thoughts. By then, you can devise a plan to bring him back. Currently, he's engulfed in anger, and Miss Xiao not only refuses to calm him down but exacerbates the situation. Lord Shao, being sentimental, becomes even more resentful. Regardless of Lord Shao's rationality, those around him fueling the turmoil can't be restrained. The more you try to convince him, the more repulsed Lord Shao will become. In that case, what's the use of retaining him, Crown Prince? The Crown Prince hesitated, swayed by Princess Consort's persuasions. However, parting with Xiao Yunduan remained a heavy decision for him. He fully understood the invaluable assistance Xiao Yunduan could provide if he stayed in the Intermediate. Once he left the capital, it would be awkward to request financial aid, and he would inevitably incur substantial expenses in the future. Even the mere contemplation of this dilemma gave him a headache. Observing the Crown Prince's internal struggle, Princess Consort seized the opportunity to continue persuading with a smile. Even if Lord Shao departs, it's acceptable. Isn't Mr. Xie from the Xie family in the Intermediate capital? Frankly, Mr. Xie and my nephew are growing close, forming a tight bond. My sister-in-law visited yesterday and discussed this matter. Young Master Xie appears to harbor aspirations of becoming an official. Given his talent, passing the imperial examinations in the upcoming year is undoubtedly feasible. If he's willing, even before formal appointment, he can still render service to you, Crown Prince. Temptation flickered in the Crown Prince's eyes, and a glimmer of hope diffused through his anxious heart. The public was aware of Xie Jingrong's exceptional abilities. His sudden arrival in the capital and burgeoning closeness to Princess Consort's nephew were conspicuous. It seemed evident. He genuinely aspired to attain official status. This was rational. Youthful exuberance often disregards accomplishments. His status and aptitude instilled confidence in him. However, with a few more years of age and maturity, Xie Jingrong yearned to contribute positively and accumulate merits. It was the orthodox path. There must have been some understanding or realization on his part. If Xie Jingrong could remain after Xiao Yunduan's departure, it was not an implausible idea. Moreover, as far as the Crown Prince knew, both Xiao Yunduan and Xie Jingrong hailed from Yuzhong and shared an amicable relationship, making it even more favorable. I'll consider it. Princess Consort beamed with joy. Certainly. Once you've decided, I'll convey the message to my family. With Xie Jingrong being recommended to the Crown Prince by her family, the Crown Prince began to hold him in high regard. The more Princess Consort contemplated the prospect, the more delighted she became. The Crown Prince nodded and added, "Arrange for someone to speak with Ms. Qiao and offer her a reward. Let everyone see that the rumors should cease." Although Princess Consort felt repulsed, she nodded with a forced smile. Later, when Qiao Xian visited the mansion as a guest, the rumors were effortlessly dispelled. However, once the Crown Prince left, Princess Consort expressed her grievances to Auntie Fu. Auntie Fu reassured her with a smile, "Princess Consort, you're overthinking it. Madame Shao wouldn't dare to bring it up again, so just pretend it never happened." "You're showing great magnanimity." Although Princess Consort often liked to display her magnanimity, she hesitated to do so when facing Qiao Xian. Frowning with a sense of disdain, she muttered, "Let it be." Unforeseen by Princess Consort, it proved challenging to invite Qiao Xian to the mansion at all. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1607. Claiming illness. Qiao Xian feigned illness, experiencing dizziness, insomnia, and fatigue, as she rested in bed. Princess Consort was infuriated. She refused to believe that Qiao Xian was genuinely unwell. It seemed like a deliberate act of defiance against her authority. As the Princess Consort, she had taken the initiative to extend kindness, but it felt like Qiao Xian was now throwing it back in her face. That woman is insufferably arrogant. Lord Shao must be blind. Auntie Fu, though also displeased, attempted to calm Princess Consort down. "Should I go and talk to Madame Shao?" Princess Consort sneered, dismissing the idea. "No need. I won't lower myself to beg her. Let her revel in her arrogance and ruin Lord Shao's future. What good can she possibly achieve? She'll come to me in tears one day." Auntie Fu sighed inwardly, suspecting that there might be more to Madame Shao's actions than she knew. However, Princess Consort kept her silence, leaving no room for further inquiries. Determined to engage in a prolonged conflict with Madame Shao, Princess Consort pondered the uncertain future. The Crown Prince, displeased by Chao Xian's presumed heirs, resolved to fulfill Officer Shao's wish. He had already severed ties, so why bother retaining him? Upon the Crown Prince's eventual release, Shao Yunduan felt a sense of relief and gratitude. Looking ahead to the New Year and Spring Festival, they anticipated departing the capital. Observing Shao Yunduan's apparent lack of reluctance, the Crown Prince's discontent deepened. He started questioning whether the loyalty he had experienced before was merely an illusion. These thoughts left the Crown Prince disheartened, prompting him to decide to ignore Shao Yunduan henceforth. Shao Yunduan was unfazed by the Crown Prince's indifference. Upon arriving home, he excitedly shared the positive news with Chao Xian. Their joy was palpable. Chao Xian, in particular, was thrilled, sporting a radiant smile. They envisioned a prosperous life as local leaders. Amused yet sympathetic, Shao Yunduan gently caressed her shoulders, his eyes filled with a fond smile. Had I known leaving the capital would bring you such happiness, I would have suggested it sooner. Chao Xian replied with a grin, it's never too late, and the capital is good too. We've experienced life here before. I'll be even better elsewhere. Shao Yunduan chuckled. You're right. Sharing an affectionate gaze, they hooked eyes, and Shao Yunduan, with a playful gesture, lifted her chin, leaning in to kiss her lips. Shao Yunduan's new appointment was soon confirmed. He would serve as the prefect of An's province in Huaishi. This location, however, was less than ideal. An's province, situated on the border of Huaishi, Yuzhong, and northern Yi provinces, was renowned for its rugged landscapes. It featured towering mountains, winding rivers, vast wild forests, and expansive desolate swamps. This natural setting made it a haven for outlaws, bandits, and thieves, granting them a protective haven where they could act with impunity. Local officials dared not interfere, going so far as to offer discreet gifts to influential gangs during festive occasions to prevent them from causing trouble. This tactic aimed to safeguard political achievements and avoid retribution from higher authorities. Although the imperial court had conducted large-scale bandit suppression operations a decade ago, the outcomes were less than satisfactory. Small-time offenders were caught, while the major players remained at large and unscathed. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1608. Unruly Zone. After the military intervention, the bandits in An's province took advantage of the chaos to engage in infighting and territorial annexation. What emerged from the ashes were three formidable gangs that solidified their dominance, their influence remaining unchallenged. In such a lawless environment, collusion between affluent families and the bandits, both overt and covert, became commonplace. Cooperation was deemed essential for survival and mutual benefit, a symbiotic relationship where both sides thrived. The so-called bandit suppression operation not only tarnished the face of the imperial court but also eroded its dignity and credibility. The emperor, infuriated by the failure, demoted the high-ranking officials in the intermediate court who had played a role in the operation. Numerous local officials faced punishments, ranging from job loss to exile, depending on the severity of their involvement. Since then, the An's prefect position had become a dreaded assignment. Officials assumed their roles with solemn faces, eagerly seeking opportunities to depart. No one completed a full term, let alone contemplated re-election. Upon learning that Shao Yunduan was assigned to such a challenging post, his peers at the Ministry of Revenue reveled in his misfortune. Some envious officials even taunted him. Crown Prince, too, was taken aback by the news. It was evident that someone, likely his fourth brother, aimed to thwart Shao Yunduan. The animosity between them was well known, and the fourth brother harbored a deep-seated wish for misfortune to befall Shao Yunduan, while the second and third royal brothers harbored their own grievances about seeing someone else succeed. They tended to maintain a low profile. Their usual strategy involved subtly fanning the flames when conflicts arose, providing clandestine assistance without taking direct action. Initially, the Crown Prince contemplated intervening on Shao Yunduan's behalf, seeking to change his assignment. However, influenced by the counsel of his advisors, he decided against it. The prevailing sentiment was that it wasn't worthwhile to extend a favor to Shao Yunduan, opting instead to wait for him to come seeking assistance, a move that would be etched in his memory. Confident that Shao Yunduan would inevitably turn to him for help, the Crown Prince believed that An's province was an undesirable post that even the most competent officials would avoid. Therefore, Shao Yunduan would surely be willing to seek assistance. The Crown Prince envisioned Shao Yunduan approaching him, allowing for a diplomatic solution. He intended to convince Shao Yunduan to stay and, if he felt uneasy about An's province, offer an alternative role as a county magistrate, with a promise of returning to the capital within a year. However, Shao Yunduan had no intention of seeking the Crown Prince's assistance. Some of the Crown Prince's staff, attempting to provoke him, confronted Shao Yunduan. They questioned his purported capabilities and dared him to demonstrate true governance in An's province by eradicating the bandit menace. Shao Yunduan saw this as an opportunity to showcase his genuine abilities and not succumb to hypocrisy or the theft of unearned prestige. While the Crown Prince maintained a high opinion of Shao Yunduan, expecting him to eventually seek aid, Shao Yunduan had no plans to kneel at the Crown Prince's residence, begging for assistance. He intended to confront the challenges of An's province head-on, displaying authentic leadership and administrative prowess. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1609. Not bad. Should Shao Yunduan resort to begging the Crown Prince now? The urgency of the situation weighed on Shao Yunduan's mind. Delaying any further could complicate matters, making it harder for both him and the Crown Prince. Despite considering the advice nonsensical, Shao Yunduan dismissed it. The two provocateurs, feeling a sense of accomplishment, believed they had touched a nerve in Shao Yunduan. Frustrated by his lack of response, they resorted to complimenting each other and congratulating themselves on their supposed cleverness. However, they remained concerned that Shao Yunduan might not take the bait. What if he resisted their attempts to provoke him and sought help from the Crown Prince? The Crown Prince held him in high regard, and such a request might receive favorable attention. To prevent Shao Yunduan from staying in the capital, they devised a plan. A decision was made to dispatch someone to monitor Shao Yunduan closely. If he did approach the Crown Prince for assistance, they would intervene midway, preventing him from proceeding. Given Shao Yunduan's scholarly background, they presumed he wouldn't act shamelessly or retract his decision. If he had requested release, he should follow through. With a sense of hesitation and worry, Shao Yunduan disclosed the situation to Chao Xian. Unfazed, she became even more intrigued. The prospect of an unregulated area with vast territory excited her. Learning about the expansive pools and endless green mountains only heightened her enthusiasm. The mention of potential dangers from bandits didn't deter her. On the contrary, it fueled her excitement. While it posed a significant threat to others, for Chao Xian, it was an invitation to explore her world, especially within the depths of the forest. She assured Shao Yunduan, "Don't be scared, hubby. I.e., Sun Bai and Sun Qian are all going with us, right? They are all very capable people. After we leave the capital, we can recruit a dozen individuals and have Sun Bai and Sun Qian assist in their training. Then we can hire 20 or 30 competent escorts. We'll be able to establish ourselves there." Husband, as a local official appointed by the imperial court, those bandits might not dare to act recklessly. Let's maintain a facade of civility initially. Once we understand their background, we can plan strategically. No need to worry about lacking the capability to deal with them. Shao Yunduan chuckled upon hearing her words. He held Chao Xian inside. Good wife. He had initially worried about her fear, but it was clear that he had underestimated her courage. Now completely relieved, he continued. In that case, we're on the same page. After a moment, Shao Yunduan held her and declared, My wife and I share the same thoughts. I.e., Sun Bai and Sun Qian are here, and we can train about 20 servants. That should be sufficient. I'll write a letter immediately and ask Meng Wanfu for assistance. I'll borrow a few people from him. Chao Xian's eyes brightened, and she remarked with a smile. You are so thoughtful, husband. General Meng's men are much more reliable. While they could afford to hire an escort, predicting people's intentions, especially in An's province's mixed environment, posed challenges. In a place where power dictated the final say, money wasn't always the most trustworthy motivator. Hiring an escort might be futile if someone could be swayed by a bribe. Despite the favor owed to Meng Wanfu, Requesting his assistance ensured reliability from military personnel who understood the gravity of the situation and wouldn't succumb to bribery by bandits, thus preventing any potential regrets. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 16:10. Kindness. The couple excitedly discussed and joyfully planned their approach to An's province when Zhao Shu arrived. Upon seeing Chao Xian and Shao Yunduan, Zhao Shu couldn't help but express his concerns. Fifth brother, sister-in-law, why persist in being officials? It's too much. We have enough money. Why not just relax and enjoy life? Why subject ourselves to such a destitute place overrun by bandits? Let's abandon this pursuit. Just give the word, and he'll handle everything. As long as the funds were in place, Zhao Shu believed this matter could be resolved. He found the idea of venturing to that undesirable location absurd. To him, it seemed like a ploy to send one's own head willingly. A poor official with no status or background from an obscure lineage might have no choice, but the Shao family had alternatives. Upon learning the news, Zhao Shu was on the verge of infuriation. Wasn't it said that the crown prince highly esteemed fifth brother? Clearly, that wasn't the case. Pushing him into such a challenging situation, it became evident that the crown prince was heartless and deliberately creating obstacles for him. In essence, he wanted fifth brother to remain in the capital to exploit him fully. In that case, they might as well not play along. Shao Yunduan shot him a glance but refrained from commenting. Zhao Shu's audacity was apparent. She wasn't sure when he started addressing Shao Yunduan as fifth brother, as if insisting on his rank. However, Shao Yunduan didn't bother to correct him. It was almost amusing to see Zhao Shu's thinly veiled intentions. Why else would he label him as stupid and discourage him from going to An's province? If it were truly an unbearable place, Shao Yunduan would naturally find a way to return. He refrained from any action, implying that he possessed the strength to confront challenges. Such thoughts were shared not only by Shao Yunduan but also by his wife. Could it be that their perspectives were inferior to his? The absurdity of it all warranted silence. Making noise would only risk becoming a source of mockery. Yet, there he was, panicking and squawking like a chicken. Why would Tao Tao like someone like him? Indeed, Shao Yunduan and Chao Xian had inquired about this matter by sending a letter to their family before departing for Qingdi. Xianxia handed them the letter upon their return to the capital. Reading the contents, Shao Yunduan, despite his frustration, had to reluctantly accept the reality. Objectively speaking, this person seemed fine. No apparent flaws. If he ever mistreated Tao Tao, handling him wouldn't pose much difficulty. However, Shao Yunduan didn't harbor much affection for Zhao Shu. The fact that his brother fancied the man who had kidnapped his sister bewildered him. That aside, Chao Xian even teased him, suggesting that finding a son-in-law might be a challenge if they had a daughter in the future. Dismissing the notion, Shao Yunduan was confident he could find suitable candidates. In response to Zhao Shu's concerns, Chao Xian playfully replied, "Rest assured, my husband and I have devised our own plans. You continue your travels between the south and the capital. Occasionally, check on the properties we've left behind in the capital." Shao Yunduan added with composure, "Don't interfere in other people's affairs. Don't delude yourself into thinking you're clever enough to gather information about the court. It's not a realm you can easily navigate. Whether the Eastern Palace or the various princes, none were entities to be taken lightly. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 16:11. Zhao Shu's injustice. Having someone like Zhao Shu around, even 10 more wouldn't suffice to handle those individuals. It was akin to assisting people in counting their money after they had been sold. Zhao Shu was momentarily taken aback. He didn't sense any derogation of his intelligence. Instead, he responded cheerfully, "Yes, I understand. Thank you for your concern, fifth brother." Shao Yunduan, Chao Xian suppressed a laugh. "We're aware of what's happening in An's province, so don't worry. And if you happen to visit Shaoding village, keep this matter to yourself and don't inform your family." The couple had meticulously prepared for the move. As imperial court officials, they could potentially face threats and attempts at control from the bandits. However, until they were pushed to a point of no return, their lives remained relatively secure. Even in the worst-case scenario, they could escape unharmed. Not revealing such matters to their families was a precautionary step, preventing any unnecessary worry or misinterpretation. Casting a guilty glance at Xiao Yunduan, Zhao Shu assured, "Sister-in-law, rest assured, I won't breathe a word to anyone." Chao Xian nodded, offering a smile. "Once we settle there and prosper, I'll invite you to join us in our prosperity, Zhao Shu." Zhao Shu's joy knew no bounds. "Certainly, sister-in-law. Thank you." Both fifth brother and sister-in-law treated him well, always offering support regardless of the circumstances. As for the opportunity to strike it rich in the less-than-ideal locale of An's province, Zhao Shu didn't dwell on it. His thought process was simple. If sister-in-law said an opportunity to make a fortune would come, then it would come. If she needed money, he would provide it. If she required assistance, he would willingly follow suit. At this juncture, even Uncle Qing and Aunt Qing couldn't help but be moved. Life, it seemed, was often a matter of luck. In the past, when their young master was still present, he would frequently jest and express concerns about his kind and naive nature. He feared that safeguarding such substantial family wealth in the future might prove challenging. Whether or not he could protect it wasn't the primary concern. What troubled Aunt Qing the most was the possibility that, instead of safeguarding the wealth, he might inadvertently bring disaster due to his vast assets. She had devised a plan for such a scenario. When the time came, she intended to discreetly relinquish some of their assets, investing in precious antiques and accumulating more gold and silver. They would maintain a low-key lifestyle, avoiding unnecessary exposure. Unexpectedly, her departure happened so swiftly that she couldn't make any arrangements for him. Besides bequeathing a considerable number of trustworthy individuals, what was even more surprising was that he had amassed wealth surpassing that of the Zhao family. The funds seamlessly integrated into the family's coffers, attracting little attention. No matter how unassuming he might be, with Lord Shao and Madame Shao by his side, no one could dare mistreat him. It was evident that he could lead a worry-free life. In addition to expressing gratitude, Zhao Shu also bid his farewells. The patriarch of the Zhao family had sent him a letter, urging him to return for the new year as there was an important matter to discuss. Granting due respect to the family patriarch, he had agreed to spend the new year with Chao Xian and Xiao Yunduan, but his departure would be inevitable. While Xiao Yunduan was indifferent to the situation, he silently wished for Zhao Shu's departure. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 16:12. Thank you. Chao Xian felt a tinge of regret and spoke with a smile. Considering your chief's indication, it seems something significant is brewing. It's best for you to return home now. We'll embark on our journey after the first month of the new year, so there's no need for you to come back to bid us farewell. If you have the time, visit Shaoding village. I have something to send back to you, and you can take it along. It's not much, just 2 medium-sized boxes. The 2 boxes could easily be accommodated in the luggage-laden carriage, causing no inconvenience. Zhao Shu often had several attendants accompanying him whenever he ventured out, so the addition of 2 boxes wouldn't pose any difficulty. That's why Chao Xian made the request. Zhao Shu was delighted at the chance to assist fifth brother and sister-in-law. He grinned and agreed. Of course, sister-in-law. Just prepare them, and I'll send someone over to collect them. Don't worry, sister-in-law. I'll ensure they reach safely. Chao Xian smiled appreciatively. Thank you. Zhao Shu's grin grew even more amiable and attentive. You're welcome, sister-in-law. Xie Jingrong also made an appearance. He was not one to merely scratch the surface. Extending his smile to Xiao Yunduan and Chao Xian, he conveyed, "Congratulations." Xiao Yunduan returned the gesture with a cupped hand. "Thank you." Understanding the underlying message, Xie Jingrong exchanged smiles with them. Had Xie Jingrong not informed the princess consort's family about his intention to work for the crown prince, the crown prince might have been seriously tempted. He would have lost Xiao Yunduan but gained young master Xie, making it a reasonable exchange. Xiao Yunduan wouldn't have been able to escape so smoothly. This realization made Xiao Yunduan understand that, in the crown prince's eyes, he was merely a valuable tool and a useful chess piece. For those old ministers burdened by reputation, many actions were constrained. Yet, Xiao Yunduan, originating from humble beginnings without connections in the capital, had fewer reservations. Without Xiao Yunduan, finding a replacement with his level of suitability would be an arduous task for the crown prince. However, if he could secure the eldest son of the Xie family, it would serve as a compensatory measure for this loss. Moreover, given the strained relationship between Xiao Yunduan and himself, the crown prince felt a sense of disappointment and irritation, prompting him to let Xiao Yunduan depart. Unable to approach Xie Jingrong directly, Xiao Yunduan had been eagerly anticipating this meeting to express his gratitude face to face. The three of them gathered in the study for a conversation. Sharing a similar perspective to Xiao Yunduan, Xie Jingrong believed that while others might find it challenging to navigate An's province, Xiao Yunduan might find a way. In a place like that, peril and opportunity coexisted, offering a risk worth taking. Crucially, the reality in An's province was dire. Serving as an official there equated to exile, rendering anyone who went invisible in the eyes of the capital's residents. Over time, the Eastern Palace's influence on Xiao Yunduan would fade away. In such a desolate place, people would look down on him, forget about him, and allow him to cleanse the marks on his reputation. It was a favorable outcome. Xie Jingrong found it perplexing whenever he contemplated the state of the nation. He doubted the crown prince's ability to secure the throne. Honored Princess Mai's fourth prince was formidable, and Empress Qi, the third prince, Princess Concubine Virtue, and the second prince all posed significant challenges, their influence extending deeper into the army than anticipated. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1613. Knowing a lot. If the crown prince possessed both the courage and the means, he could potentially reverse the situation and seize power. However, such qualities were not inherent in his character. Even if he were to ascend to the throne, the relentless expansion of Great Qin would persist, leading to an escalation of brutality and bloodshed. It became imperative to distance oneself from the capital and the imperial court. The crown prince still harbored hopes of retaining him in the capital as an official, but such a scenario seemed implausible. Xie Jingrong's knowledge of An's province surprised both Xiao Yunduan and Chao Xian. Entranced by his insights, they were previously unaware that the region, rife with bandits and challenges, held a deeper complexity. The influential families collaborated with the bandits, openly or covertly, exerting control over nearly every aspect of the area. Their understanding had been superficial until Xie Jingrong illuminated the intricate details. Xie Jingrong possessed information on the most influential bandits, the dynamics of the three major families, and even secured a map of Anzazhou. Xiao Yunduan expressed profuse gratitude, treating the information as a valuable treasure. Maintaining a semblance of distance from Xiao Yunduan, Xie Jingrong, and his newfound acquaintances, departed after half a day. The secrecy surrounding their amicable terms was crucial, as it wouldn't be advantageous for others to discover the close association between Xiao Yunduan's family and Xie Jingrong. Once Xie Jingrong left, Xiao Yunduan couldn't help but express admiration. Brother Xie's knowledge is truly vast and all-encompassing. It's no wonder the crown prince values him so highly. We find ourselves indebted to him once again. Chao Xian shared Xiao Yunduan's sentiment, wholeheartedly admiring Xie Jingrong. Xiao Yunduan's appointment as the prefect of An's province was inevitable and immutable, rendering the Shao mansion desolate. Anticipating a decrease in visitors before the new year, Chao Xian foresaw the absence of last year's invitations. Considering the bleak outlook for the princes, both Xie Jingrong and her husband held a pessimistic view of the future troubles. She wished for their existence to fade from the memories of the capital. As the 12th lunar month commenced, the long-awaited resettlement of the Cloud Watertown Manor concluded. Accompanied by Yi, Mian Mian, Li Xia, and Li Qiu, Chao Xian embarked on this significant day. Originally spanning 1,200 mu, Chao Xian expanded the farm to 1,600 mu after acquiring an additional 400 mu. Over the years, various crops such as potatoes, strawberries, watermelons, cantaloupes, melons, radishes, and cabbages had been cultivated for sale. Chao Xian's foresight led him to diversify crops, ensuring sustainability for the future. Given the expansive nature of the manor, Chao Xian decided against congregating Zhang Sang and the other 70-odd individuals into a single large residence. Instead, he opted to allocate living spaces based on the original households, promoting autonomy. In this vision for the future, each family would lead independent lives, offering mutual support when needed. Xian recognized that sustaining a harmonious coexistence required a shift from the communal living arrangements of their impoverished past. As prosperity loomed, an individual's ability to earn a livelihood became paramount. The principle of shared efforts would replace indiscriminate compensation, preventing potential conflicts from arising. Understanding the value of the enduring friendships forged over the years, Xian believed that it was wiser to allow each family to face their challenges independently. This approach, she reasoned, would safeguard the bonds they had cultivated and prevent unnecessary strain on their relationships. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1614. Settled among the assembled families, the composition was diverse. Widows with 1 or 2 children, father-son pairs, couples with children, elderly individuals bereaved of sons in battle, and even the orphans of fallen comrades were present. In total, there were 11 families, with 10 belonging to Xian. Led by individuals such as Zhang Sang, Wu Guan, Lu Changming, and others, the groups included 4 elderly members and 7 orphans. With construction completed, a pair of neat rows of houses flanked the main courtyard of the manor. Under Xian's guidance and Song's his adept management, the decision was made to transform the entire area into a residential zone, allowing for future expansions. The houses, constructed with green bricks and black tiles, featured courtyard walls exceeding a meter in height. Each courtyard, modest in size, comprised a main house with 1 light, 2 dark, and 3 rooms. Additionally, there were 2 rooms, 1 large and 1 small, providing ample living space. Zhang Sang and his companions resided in a more spacious courtyard, boasting larger main rooms, wings, and courtyards compared to the other houses. Outside the courtyards, saplings of sweet osmanthus, magnolia, and pomegranate, each the size of a copper coin, were planted. Additional flowers and plants would be added when spring arrived. The roads surrounding the courtyards were meticulously paved with bricks and stones, preventing muddy conditions during rainy days. A well was strategically placed not far from each family, ensuring convenient access to water. Vegetable plots designated for each family were situated close to their residences. After discussions led by Songshi, Zhang Sang, and the others, it was decided to allocate approximately 2 plots of land to each family for cultivating essential vegetables to sustain their daily needs. By late November, all the construction of buildings and courtyards had been completed. As the residents of the dilapidated courtyard arrived at their new homes in carriages, carrying their worn-out luggage, a wave of astonishment swept through them. Several women couldn't hold back tears, their emotions mingling between cries and laughter. The children, in contrast, were filled with excitement, running around, screaming, and cheering. Unprecedented happiness enveloped them. This was their new haven, a tidy and pristine abode. As long as they were willing to put in the effort, they could build a life here. The allure was irresistible. A bright and promising future awaited them, a future brimming with hope. This is fantastic. We finally have a proper home. Mom, I love this place so much. I'll work hard. Let's stay here forever, okay? Lord Shao and Madame Shao are true bodhisattvas. We must remember their kindness. Absolutely. Lord Shao and Madame Shao are kind-hearted people. Anyone who wrongs them is not human. We won't forgive them. Wang Sang had already assigned living spaces, alleviating any potential conflicts. With joyous hearts, everyone set down their belongings and eagerly inspected their allocated vegetable plots. Though modest in size, these plots were their own. Painstakingly planned and cultivated, they promised a year's worth of sustenance. Warmth filled their hearts. The women wore smiles, already contemplating what to plant in the fields. The houses were furnished with basic items: beds, cabinets, tables, stools. Additional personal touches would be added over time. However, immediate necessities like pots, pans, oil, salt, sauce, and vinegar needed attention. Utilizing some remaining funds, Zhang Sang procured a set for each family. Additionally, he purchased quilts, winter clothes, shoes, socks, and food, ensuring the households were well equipped for their new beginnings. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1615. On the manor, Songshi promptly organized their work schedules, which would commence the next day and last for half a month. By the end of the following month, they would receive half a month's salary. The proposal was met with unanimous approval, and everyone expressed their happiness without any objections. Working in the fields proved to be a welcome change from the strenuous labor at the docks and warehouses. Most importantly, the newfound stability allowed them to cast aside worries about the uncertainties of tomorrow. Eager to begin their tasks, everyone couldn't wait to start working. Among them were orphans like Lu Fu, Qing Lian, Yener, and others, who lived alongside Zheng Sang, Lu Changming, and the rest. The day they moved in, their joy manifested in tireless running around the courtyard. That evening, the communal meal continued, and Xianxia, along with the young steward of the manor, was invited to join. In the courtyard, Zheng Sang and the others cooked diligently. Zheng Sang, determined to make the occasion special, spent money on over 20 caddies of pork, more than 10 caddies of mutton, and 6 chickens. The women, busy in the kitchen, filled the air with laughter and chatter. Despite the simplicity of the setting, the rich fragrance of meat made everyone's mouths water. This feast surpassed even the grandeur of a New Year celebration. The joy of partaking in this sumptuous meal within the spacious and bright new houses fueled optimism for the better days that lay ahead. With this, Zheng Sang and the others officially settled down in the Cloudwater Town Manor. The farm in Cloudwater Town buzzed with liveliness. Xianxia, as the chief steward, busily organized and instructed on various matters. In the initial days, he experienced the challenges and joys of overseeing dozens or even hundreds of people. Though fatigued, he found fulfillment in his responsibilities. Unfortunately, the time had come for Lord and Madam to leave the capital to assume their duties, and Xianxia, along with Qing Yan, Lixia, and others, would accompany them on this new journey. It was rumored that the area wasn't ideal, with numerous bandits, but Xianxia remained unfazed. His lord and lady were astute and carefree, facing each day with smiles and happiness. As a servant with limited knowledge, he saw no reason for concern. It surely wouldn't pose any problem. Zheng Sang was overjoyed to learn of Chao Xian's impending visit. With little winter work to occupy them, everyone eagerly awaited Chao Xian's arrival. As the carriage approached, children ran home shouting, "Madam Shao is here! Madam Shao is here!" Families emerged, gathering with smiles and shining eyes to welcome the approaching carriage. "It's really her! I haven't met Madam Shao yet. Madam Shao is exceptionally beautiful and amiable. She even brought us candy last time. She's truly wonderful." "Absolutely. Madam Shao is the finest madam I've ever encountered." "Oh, you little girl, how many madams have you met?" Laughter ensued. Regardless of the number of people encountered, Madam Shao undoubtedly stood out as the best. As soon as Chao Xian stepped off the wagon, someone took the lead. With Zheng Sang and a few others exempted, the rest knelt down. "Madam Shao." "Hello, madam." "Thank you, madam." Tears welled in the sentimental women's eyes once more. They covered their mouths, choked with emotion. Living a life beyond their wildest dreams, the sight of Chao Xian filled them with a sense of light and hope. The surge of emotions within their hearts was palpable. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 16:16. Make it clear. Chao Xian lifted the curtain and spotted the crowd eagerly waiting for her. She pondered what to say upon disembarking, but before she could utter a word, they created a heartfelt scene. Surprised, Chao Xian urged, "Get up! Get up!" Extending a helping hand, she assisted an elderly lady named Old Lady Zhang, whom she had met in the alley yard the other day. Lixia and others also aided them to their feet. Moved by the gesture, everyone expressed gratitude to Chao Xian repeatedly. Laughter and chatter filled the air, creating a lively atmosphere. After a few exchanges, Xianxia stepped forward, saying, "It's too cold outside. The house has already been warmed with a charcoal basin and fire bed. Madam, please sit inside and chat." Agreeing, everyone followed Chao Xian to the main courtyard. Once inside the main room, Chao Xian found herself alone. The others remained on the porch or in the yard beneath the stairs. Lixia soon emerged, inviting Zheng Sang, Wu Guan, Lu Changming, Grandma Zhang, and around 10 others inside. Smiling, she conveyed Madam's message, "It's cold today, so Madam won't come out. She wants you all to know that, as long as you're willing, you can stay here. If in the future you wish to move, build a house or buy land, that's perfectly fine. Interrupting with smiles, the group reassured. No, no. As long as Madam doesn't drive us away, we'll stay forever. We'll do whatever Madam wants. Yes, yes. Leaving such a good place is unthinkable. Thank you for your kindness, Madam. This is a blessing for us. And more. Xianxia, with a smile, asked for their attention and continued. Madam's words stand. You can be at ease. However, Madam wants to emphasize that if you plan to stay long-term, treat this place as your home and protect it. Follow the manor rules, refrain from actions harmful to Madam, and any betrayal or collusion with outsiders won't be taken lightly. The atmosphere tensed momentarily as everyone briskly nodded in agreement. Absolutely. If anyone betrays, we won't let them off. That's right. We owe Madam too much. Following her instructions is the least we can do. Failing even in that would be disgraceful. If there's a traitor, we'll stand against them first. Xianxia smiled. Madam believes in everyone's integrity. She's merely offering a reminder. Keep it in mind and live peacefully here. All right, that's settled. You can all go now. Agreeing, everyone shared their thoughts. Xianxia handed 2 packets of pine nuts to Lu Fu and Qing Lian, asking them to distribute them to the children. The kids happily thanked them, cheering at the treat. Gentle smiles adorned the adults' faces, expressing gratitude before departing one by one. Inside the room, Chao Xian invited everyone to take a seat and had tea served. After some small talk, she inquired about their stay and reiterated the manor rules. With Chao Xian and Shao Yunduan soon departing, uncertainties loomed over those who had accepted their generosity. Addressing potential issues beforehand seemed wiser than dealing with them later. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 16-17. I can offer my life for any reasonable person. Hearing her words would bring a sense of reassurance. Chao Xian feared ambiguity and wanted to avoid confusion. Addressing potential issues in advance, rather than waiting for incidents to occur and reiterating rules, was not only more effective but also prevented blame and resentment. With clarity established, everyone had a clear understanding of their boundaries. They comprehended the conditions for living in this place, knowing what actions were acceptable and what were not. Zhang Sang and others agreed, recognizing the wisdom in this approach. They promised to explain it to everyone upon their return. Smiling, Chao Xian said, Brother Zhang, we trust you to look after this place in our absence. The money you have should suffice for their winter needs, especially with the recent half-month salary. In the future, monthly income will ensure their lives are not difficult. Chao Xian inquired about patients requiring long-term medication. Brother Zhang, discuss with Xianxia and provide me a list. I'll cover the treatment costs. If good medicine can expedite recovery, let me know. It's better to heal as soon as possible. For those needing extended recuperation, inform me of the required medicine and prescription. Ensure timely medication in the future. Upon hearing this, Zhang Sang and others looked up in disbelief. Wu Guan with a trembling voice asked, Madam Shao, is this true? Chao Xian nodded with a smile. Certainly, why would I deceive you? Wu Guan, overwhelmed, rubbed his face and uttered in a hoarse voice. But, that will cost a lot of money. We can't afford it at all. In this life, in the next life. Hailing from impoverished backgrounds and having faced life and death on the battlefield, they had limited knowledge beyond warfare. Despite surviving, their bodies bore the scars of disability, complicating their ability to earn a living. All future prospects seemed bleak for them. Left with a meager pension, departing the military camp, they faced the harsh reality of their limited skills and lack of managerial knowledge, predicting a challenging future. Adopting the orphans, women, and elderly of their fallen comrades was even more daunting. Driven by a sense of camaraderie and survival, they endured for many years, clinging to the hope of a cure despite their financial struggles. Expressing their desperation, Chao Xian sighed. I will cover the expenses, and you don't need to repay me. We've known each other as friends, and it seems like fate. My husband's brother is also in the camp. Consider it a blessing for him. Don't feel burdened, just accept it. Their surprise was evident. Lu Changming inquired cautiously. But Madam Shao, A doctor mentioned it would cost hundreds of taels of silver for the cure. Others might need substantial payments. Nervously, Wu Guan and the others turned to Chao Xian for confirmation. Chao Xian smiled, reassuring them, "Certainly, I can afford hundreds or even thousands of taels." "Really? That's fantastic. Thank you, Madam Shao. Madam Shao is truly a living bodhisattva." Joy enveloped everyone. Xianxia rose and bowed to Chao Xian, hands folded in front of his chest. "Madam, my life belongs to you and my lord. Whatever you ask of me, I will do. Count us in." Wu Guan and Lu Changming declared without hesitation. "If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 16:18. Uninvited guest. This turn of events caught Chao Xian off guard, leaving her momentarily speechless. Regaining composure, she raised her hand with a smile. "Brother Zheng, you're too serious. It's our fate, and this is nothing. In the future, just live in peace. If there's a need, don't hesitate." Xianxia nodded. "If you need anything, Madam and Lord, don't stand on ceremony." "That's right," Wu Guan chimed in. "Whatever it is, we're willing." Chao Xian chuckled. After discussing some family matters, she dismissed them. Rushing to their families, Xianxia and the others shared the news that Chao Xian would cover the treatment costs for their ailing comrades. Overjoyed tears flowed, and they hastened to express gratitude to Chao Xian. Intent on kowtowing, the women were stopped by Wuxia and others. Chao Xian comforted them, understanding the depth of their emotions. She hoped that in the future, they wouldn't let each other down. Leading Wuxia and others around the village, Chao Xian was accompanied by Lu Fu, Qing Lian, and the other children, who, emboldened by her gentle demeanor, began chatting around her. Witnessing this, other children joined in, and Chao Xian, known for her kindness towards children, took them around before bringing them back for lunch. Enlisting the help of the servants' daughters-in-law, they prepared steaming meat buns, plump and fragrant with the tempting aroma of fresh white flour. The children eagerly awaited, and upon Chao Xian's cue, they joyfully rushed forward to savor the delicious treat. Chao Xian instructed the kitchen to prepare a variety of nonchalant, casual, and indifferent dishes, creating a lively atmosphere. Upon discovering the gesture, everyone expressed gratitude and recited Buddhist scriptures, feeling fortunate to have encountered someone as kind as Madame Shao. Chao Xian happily spent half a day in the farmland before returning to the city. The children enthusiastically ran alongside the wagon until they were far away. Wuxia and the others shared the joy, remarking on the increased number of people in the manor, making it look more like a true manor. Returning home around 4 in the afternoon, Chao Xian brought fresh radishes, cabbages, eggs, and fish from the village. Planning a delightful dinner, she prepared braised fish, lamb stew with radishes, and vinegar cabbage. As thoughts turned to dinner, an unexpected guest arrived. Elder Miss Xianxia, whom Chao Xian hadn't seen in a long time. With a guarded stance, Chao Xian didn't allow her and her servant into the house. Instead, she invited Xianxia to a private room in a nearby tea house. Despite feeling slighted by Chao Xian's guarded actions, Xianxia remained composed, concealing any displeasure. Maintaining a sense of superiority, she refrained from arguing with Chao Xian, think that she is unworthy. "If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 16:19. Interesting. Xianxia couldn't care less about Chao Xian, but the reality of being outshone by someone she dismissed bothered her. Seeing Chao Xian almost made her lose composure as a noble lady of the capital. "Miss Tian, what brings you here?" Xianxia glanced at Chao Xian before stating, "Lord Shao has been assigned to An's province." "Madam Chao, do you comprehend the nature of An's province?" Chao Xian felt a surge of disgust. She never liked Xianxia, and it was challenging to remain calm in the face of a woman who repeatedly coveted her husband. Even if the words sounded ordinary, Chao Xian couldn't shake the feeling of an underlying meaning. Furthermore, the words were abnormal. With a half-smile, Chao Xian retorted, "Miss Tian, you're not entitled to inquire about this, are you? It's none of your concern." Xianxia, embarrassed and infuriated, sneered, "It appears you are ignorant of that place. An's province is infested with bandits. Countless criminals, having committed various crimes, reside in the rugged mountains. They've established themselves as lords of the mountains, becoming a formidable criminal force. Rampant violence, arson, routine for them. They consistently oppose the government. Lord Shao as an official there will achieve nothing. Merely keeping his life is already a feat, Madam Qiao. Are you still so confident? Xiao Xian seethed with anger. Tian Shanshan's condescending tone portrayed her as an ignorant fool. Who gave her the right to look down on others like this? Remaining silent, Xiao Xian's apparent restraint fueled Tian Shanshan's pride as she mentioned, the official transfer order hasn't been officially issued yet, providing a chance to alter it. Having uttered her words, Tian Shanshan shot a glance at Xiao Xian. She deliberately left the statement incomplete, hoping Xiao Xian would plead with her. After a moment's contemplation, Xiao Xian inquired, "Is there any way?" She played along. Fuer, Tian Shanshan's maid, scoffed. "This is no trivial matter. Except for my miss, no one else will assist you. But why should my miss help you? Madam Qiao, do you grasp my point?" Xiao Xian responded. "Miss Tian, why don't you enlighten me? I don't quite understand your implications." Xiao Xian believed her response was suitably cooperative. Fuer cast a contemptuous glance, internally musing, what an idiot. She's utterly clueless. Why would Lord Shao choose such a wife? If you insist, then it'll be straightforward. You're not worthy of Lord Shao. Why not dissolve the marriage directly? Since Lord Shao treats you well and is now facing trouble, you should do something in return, shouldn't you? Otherwise it would be too selfish. You'd be letting Lord Shao down. Tian Shanshan calmly added, "Madam Qiao, An's province isn't fit for humans, and the bandits don't get along with authorities. I doubt you want to go there either. Official status is prestigious, but when weighed against your life, what's more crucial? You may not understand the meaning of going to An's province. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 1620. Im not choosing Tian Shanshan patiently recounted the bandit atrocities in An's province, describing the killings in detail, while Xiao Xian silently listened. However, in truth, Xiao Xian was already well aware of the events Tian Shanshan described. Many of them were not as recent or severe as Tian Shanshan portrayed. Some dated back a decade. Yet, Tian Shanshan presented them as recent occurrences. Upon concluding her account, Fuer sneered, "Madam Qiao, do you grasp the current situation? Only our miss is willing to aid Lord Shao. You don't really have a choice, do you?" Xiao Xian cast a glance at her. "No need." Fuer displayed a smug smile, but Xiao Xian clarified, "I'm not making any choice." "What do you mean? What do you mean?" Xiao Xian regarded them with an odd look. "Are you expecting me to make a choice? That's absurd. Why should I make a choice?" Fuer retorted in frustration. "Don't you care about Lord Shao's life? He's risking everything. It's not your place to make such statements. Be cautious with your words. I trust my husband's judgment. If he's willing to go to An's province, then he can. Even if there are issues, my husband will handle them. What's the matter with a few bandits? They were only bold because they never encountered my husband. When he arrives, their good days will be over. They'll kneel and plead for mercy." Tian Shanshan and Fuer were left speechless. How could there be someone so blindly confident and naive? Fuer scornfully remarked, "You dare to think like that?" Xiao Xian asserted proudly, "I have full confidence in my husband's capabilities." Fuer stared at her, holding back her desire to mock Shao Yunduan. She shot a glare at Xiao Xian instead. Xiao Xian rose slowly. "Let's just pretend Miss Tian never visited me." As Xiao Xian left, Tian Shanshan's face turned crimson with embarrassment, anger, and frustration. "She's so ignorant and arrogant." Fuer scoffed, advising softly, "That foolish woman knows nothing. Miss, don't stoop to her level. I think she did it on purpose." "Humph, she deliberately provoked you to upset you." Tian Shanshan smiled coldly and said slowly, "You're correct about one thing. She wants to make me feel uncomfortable, but you're mistaken. She's not foolish. I believe she's clever." Tian Shanshan seemed to have grasped something. A woman like Xiao Xian, who devoted herself entirely to her husband, would easily capture men like Shao Yunduan. She had given it her all. No wonder Lord Shao refused to let her go. However, a woman like her was destined to be shallow. In the future, when Lord Shao's interest waned, he would find her dull, and she would no longer capture his attention. But how much longer would she have to endure? From her persistent infatuation to her inability to break free, she could no longer turn back, nor did she desire to. Unable to convince Xiao Xian, Tian Shanshan decided to approach Shao Yunduan herself. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1621. As long as cousin becomes the Emperor, Shao Yunduan was perplexed. He had no desire to engage with Tian Shanshan. Spotting her, he swiftly turned away, intending to leave. Tian Shanshan felt extreme pain and embarrassment. Was she so repulsive in his eyes? He avoided her as if she were a venomous snake or a ferocious beast. Proud and arrogant, she couldn't tolerate such humiliation. Shocked and fueled by her competitive spirit, Tian Shanshan had to intercept Shao Yunduan. Although he was stopped, Shao Yunduan didn't engage in much conversation with Tian Shanshan. His eyes betrayed a clear disgust, nearly causing her to lose her composure. Despite being halted, Shao Yunduan didn't entertain any discussion of his upcoming role as an official in An's province. He didn't need her so-called good intentions, and didn't want to hear them. Shortly after, he decisively left. Tian Shanshan's well-intentioned efforts went to waste. Returning home in anger and humiliation, she harbored intense resentment toward Xiao Xian. Vowing to make Xiao Xian kneel before her one day, she sought to claim everything Shao Yunduan had done for her today. As long as her cousin ascended to the throne, everything would change dramatically. She didn't believe Shao Yunduan would dare to resist. Tian Shanshan's heart burned anew. While Tian Shanshan's actions had no impact on Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan, the crown prince, hearing about it, grew displeased. He had been anticipating Shao Yunduan to plead for him, but it never happened. He could no longer wait, so he subtly signaled his two young officers, who had joined him along with Shao Yunduan, to talk with Shao Yunduan. If Shao Yunduan was in a bad mood, they were to try persuading him. The crown prince aimed to convince Shao Yunduan to yield to his wishes. He also communicated that he had been patiently waiting for Shao Yunduan to acquiesce. However, to the crown prince's surprise, the two young officers harbored long-standing animosity toward Shao Yunduan. Fearing that he might plead with the crown prince, they deliberately provoked him. They had no intention of following the crown prince's instructions to make Shao Yunduan give in. The two officers went to Shao Yunduan, delivering the opposite message. They mocked and taunted him, attempting to ensure he didn't change his mind. Shao Yunduan observed the theatrical performance put on by the two officers. In front of the crown prince, the two officers naturally had another pretext. The crown prince, displeased that Shao Yunduan seemed oblivious to his clear intentions despite expressing goodwill, grew frustrated. When he heard that Tian family's elder miss had approached the officers, the crown prince dismissed it without much thought. Could Shao Yunduan have secretly aligned with the fourth brother? Was he colluding with the fourth brother? Furious and disappointed, the crown prince decided to no longer concern himself with the matter. If Shao Yunduan wanted to go to An's province, so be it. The crown prince was determined to see if Shao Yunduan's reputation would be tarnished or if he would even lose his life there. Only then would he gauge Shao Yunduan's true strength. Princess consort, feeling sorry for the crown prince, obediently sided with him. To comfort him, she fabricated negative stories about Shao Yunduan and Xiao Xian. She even mentioned with a smile that young Master Xie had developed a close relationship with her nephew, engaging in discussions about poetry and paintings with a group of scholars in the mountain courtyard. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1622. There's no one. It was evident that young Master Xie harbored a sincere desire to become an official. This realization brought relief to the crown prince. If he could secure eldest young Master Xie's loyalty, it would be a beneficial acquisition. Crown Prince requested Princess Consort to extend an invitation to Mr. Xie to visit the East Palace as a guest. However, Xie Jingrong declined, vaguely stating that it wasn't the right time yet. Interpreting this as a sign of agreement, the The Crown Prince decided to patiently await the opportune moment. Feeling reassured, the Crown Prince looked forward to the upcoming new year. As anticipated by Chao Xian and Shao Yunduan, no guests or well-wishers visited them this year. Those who had turned snobbish and considered Shao Yunduan unworthy of friendship abstained, and some even reveled in the idea of celebrating the occasion with fireworks. For those who wished to avoid trouble, reaching out to Shao Yunduan could potentially incur the East Palace and Fourth Prince's displeasure. Preferring to steer clear of any complications, they chose to sever ties with him altogether. In a light-hearted manner, Chao Xian teased Shao Yunduan, turning the situation into an amusing interlude for the couple. As the new year approached, Chao Xian decided to keep a low profile even in purchasing festive items. She discreetly instructed Li Xia, Li Qiu, and Xianxia to procure necessary items for the new year in a modest manner, ensuring it was sufficient. Chao Xian wanted to avoid appearing overly joyful or indifferent during this period, as it could potentially lead to unnecessary troubles and grievances in their lives. It was a precautionary measure to maintain harmony in their surroundings. Chao Xian promptly instructed Xianxia and Qing Yan to purchase the promised New Year goods for each family in Cloudwater Town, ensuring everyone received their fair share. The newly arrived families, including Zheng Sang's group, were not left behind. Out of compassion for the elderly young, and her former comrades who were sick or childless, Chao Xian requested Xianxia to provide them with a more substantial New Year's gift, recognizing their need for additional support. New Year's Eve unfolded as scheduled. The small courtyard was adorned with the warm glow of 2 rows of red lanterns, casting a festive and gentle ambience into the night. The brazier inside the house emanated a lively warmth, turning the brick bed into a cozy haven reminiscent of spring when the door was closed. Amid the festive atmosphere, the small group celebrated the arrival of the new year with joy. The imminent departure from the capital after the new year brought a sense of relaxation, particularly for Chao Xian. Despite lingering concerns about the dream involving the Crown Prince, she focused on the present and embraced the freedom that awaited her beyond the capital. With the new year underway, Shao Yunduan completed the handover of responsibilities with the Ministry of Revenue officials, leaving him with newfound freedom. Deciding to forego attending court sessions, he opted to stay home with Chao Xian. The couple expressed their desire to explore Cloudwater Town and its surroundings, visiting neighboring towns and exploring scenic mountains, rivers, and ancient temples. They were aware that once they departed, returning to the capital might be uncertain. While initially contemplating a stroll around the capital together, they dismissed the idea, considering it might appear too open. Instead, they focused on savoring the peaceful moments in Cloudwater Town before they finally left. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1623. Invitation. The two had initially planned to depart from the city after the 3rd day of the Lunar New Year. However, their intentions took an unexpected turn when they received an invitation on the 2nd day from the 4th princess consort. The invitation was for a banquet scheduled on the 6th day of the Lunar New Year. This unexpected development piqued their interest. Apparently, the eunuch delivering the invitation had received explicit instructions from the 4th princess consort. In a shrill voice he conveyed, "The princess consort insists that Madame Shao must attend. No excuses will be entertained. Failure to comply will displease the princess consort." Chao Xian responded with a smile, addressing Shao Yunduan's father. "Father-in-law, please convey my gratitude to the 4th princess consort. I am truly honored that she still thinks of me during this time. I am delighted and see no reason to decline." "Yes, absolutely." Chao Xian's expression, conveying a sense of honored acceptance, left the young eunuch feeling as though his words had fallen on deaf ears. Here to witness the spectacle and perhaps revel in their discomfort, the young eunuch couldn't shake the feeling of being observed. "Excellent. Madame Shao, remember that," he warned. "Hee. Unforgettable, absolutely unforgettable." "Bah!" The young eunuch departed with a sullen expression, but Chao Xian's sneer spoke volumes. "In your dreams." The 4th princess consort might have aimed to mock and humiliate her, relishing in her embarrassment, but Chao Xian had no intention of letting it affect her. Still, she couldn't deny that dealing with such matters was a headache. Shao Yunduan, holding her hands, offered a reassuring smile. "My wife, just go and enjoy the spectacle." Chao Xian looked up at him, reciprocating the smile. "Indeed, that seems to be the only way." The couple grinned at each other. After a brief exchange of words, both of them began to ease up. Shao Yunduan expressed, "It would not be wise for you to decline. Considering we are departing the capital, I doubt the fourth princess consort would risk causing unnecessary trouble. Rest assured, my wife." Internally, Qiao Xian mused, "I am not concerned at all. Attending banquets is her specialty." "Yes, don't worry, husband." Yet, a sigh escaped her as she added, "In that case, our visit to Cloudwater Town tomorrow will have to be postponed." Shao Yunduan burst into laughter. "Even if you go in a few days, it'll be the same. Spend a few more days here to make up for the ones we missed." Qiao Xian chuckled. On the 6th day of the Lunar New Year, Qiao Xian accompanied Xia to the fourth prince's mansion. This time, the situation took an interesting turn. The fourth prince's household staff guided her through the residence, making numerous twists and turns before leading her to a flower hall, instructing her to wait. It was evident they intentionally left her there. The reception hall lacked the warmth of a heated brick bed or a charcoal basin. Its cold and austere atmosphere was accentuated by its emptiness. Besides Qiao Xian and her servant, there was no one present. Given the pleasant weather, Qiao Xian decided to take advantage of it and brought Xia to the courtyard to enjoy the sunshine. In the yard, 2 robust and ancient winter plum trees blossomed at the perfect time. The golden flowers on the branches sparkled in the bright sunlight, and the fragrance filled the air, providing a refreshing sensation. While admiring the flowers and conversing with Xia, Qiao Xian activated her superpower to eavesdrop on the ongoings within the mansion. A cacophony of noises reached her ears, prompting Qiao Xian to retract her superpower. Utilizing it in a bustling environment proved challenging due to the myriad voices and incessant noise. The residents lacked the tranquility necessary for effective use, a drawback that made Qiao Xian feel lightheaded after a prolonged attempt. This superpower, she realized, was better suited for information gathering in open landscapes and wilderness rather than crowded places. However, within the mansion, the only discernible sounds were servants gossiping, various discussions, and envy expressed toward the madams and young ladies attending the banquet. Amidst the chatter, there were also whispers of mockery and gloating aimed at Qiao Xian. "If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 1624. The open Gambit. Qiao Xian and her servant engaged in conversation until a maid arrived. Casting a stiff glance at them, she declared, "Madam Shao, please come with me." Returning the look with a smile, Qiao Xian replied, "Then please lead the way." Assuming that decorum would prevail in the fourth prince's mansion, the maid proudly guided them, raising her chin with an air of superiority. Xia, feeling indignant, sought solace in her madam's gaze. Qiao Xian, shaking her head with a smile, signaled for Xia not to be bothered. Xia pursed her lips and lowered her eyes, resigned to the snobbish attitude. Upon arriving at the hall where the guests had congregated, the opulent and spacious room teemed with people. With Qiao Xian and her servant being the last to arrive, the madams and young ladies, engaged in cheerful conversations, collectively turned their attention toward them. A smile adorned their lips, and their eyes sparkled with anticipation, a clear indication that they were eager for a spectacle. Once a figure of envy and glory, Madame Shao now found herself the object of their gloating pleasure. The sudden intrusion of someone who did not originally belong to their social circle, now seizing their coveted position, fueled their delight. In their eyes, it seemed normal for this turn of events. Furthermore, they collectively concluded and sighed, "This is the consequence of lacking a foundation. Everything is superficial, and chaos is inevitable." Princess Consort's expression soured the moment she laid eyes on Qiao Xian. Subconsciously clenching her fists, embarrassment painted her face. Why was she here? Princess Consort harbored no desire to see Qiao Xian at all. Observing Princess Consort's reaction, the fourth Princess Consort was taken aback. She had deliberately invited Qiao Xian to surprise Princess Consort, who was known to dislike her. However, Princess Consort's response appeared to be more extreme than expected. Qiao Xian, a perfect match for the Crown Prince's hypocritical and pretentious demeanor, displayed composure, contrasting sharply with Princess Consort's overt displeasure. The revelation hinted at a strained relationship between Shao Yunduan and the East Palace. "Greetings, Crown Princess Consort." "Greetings, Princess Consorts." Qiao Xian approached, bowing respectfully. Despite her tense demeanor, Princess Consort maintained a dignified tone. No need to stand on ceremony. Thank you, Princess Consort. A lady in attendance remarked with a half-smile. Madam Shao, you are so audacious. Princess Consort and the other princes and princesses are here, and Madam Shao arrives late. The other ladies quickly chimed in agreement. That's right. Her rudeness is unacceptable. Heh, lacking manners is in her nature. You can't expect more. You can't excuse her behavior. She should respect her seniors and adhere to proper etiquette. This is unacceptable. If you are ignorant, it's better to stay home and avoid embarrassing yourself. Heh, she's only here because she won't have another chance in the future. Hee, that's the truth. Princess Consort's displeasure deepened, and she glared disapprovingly at Xiao Xian. Her sense of disgust was palpable. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1625. Looking for Trouble MS. Xiao had fallen out of favor with the crown prince due to Shao Yunduan's influence, foreclosing any prospects for her in the royal court. In response, she contemplated a vindictive course of action, intending to unveil her true nature. How audacious! Xiao Xian cast a glance at the fourth princess consort, who had been gleefully witnessing the spectacle, letting others mock her. Ladies, don't envy me. The fourth princess consort treats me differently. The servants were leading me to another resting area, causing the delay. Princess consort, please forgive me. The fourth princess consort chuckled. I think I led you the wrong way. My apologies, Madam Shao. Fourth princess consort, your understanding is appreciated. Smiling, the fourth princess consort gestured. Madam Shao, please take a seat. Thank you, fourth princess consort. As Xiao Xian settled into her seat, she overheard a sneer. Even if the servants misdirected you, can't you inquire? The fourth princess consort is hosting a banquet, attended by the princess consort and other royals. Could you not fathom this? Hee, your lack of decorum is truly unbecoming. Hee, you'll be an eyesore in the future. Exactly. Amidst laughter and conversation, the atmosphere grew lively. However, at this juncture, everyone seemed to collectively forget about Xiao Xian, deliberately ignoring her. No one engaged in conversation with her. These were individuals from respected families, adept at subtle forms of cruelty. Rather than resorting to crass insults or attacks, they chose a more refined approach. Their familiarity with each other allowed them to inflict discomfort through complete indifference and disdain. This mental humiliation and subtle torment, though devoid of physical harm, proved potent enough to make one wish to disappear into the ground. Despite Xiao Xian's strong mental fortitude, impatience began to gnaw at her. Stuck in the situation, leaving early wasn't an option, forcing her to endure the discomfort. After some time, the fourth princess consort announced with a smile that the theater was prepared, leading the guests to enjoy the show. Praises for the well-organized spectacle flowed, fostering a sense of anticipation. The fourth princess consort basked in the satisfaction of her guests. Xiao Xian followed the group with Lixia. While she wasn't particularly fond of watching the show, it was preferable to enduring the incessant chatter. As they moved, someone in the crowd shoved Lixia from behind. Caught off guard, Lixia let out a scream as she collided with a young lady in front of her. The young lady, initially engaged in light banter, nearly stumbled and screamed in shock. Recovering, she turned around to find, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Lixia apologized earnestly. Before she could elaborate, the young lady raised her eyebrows and slapped Lixia's face, unleashing an angry tirade. You unruly wretch! What has your master taught you? The commotion drew the attention of everyone present. Covering her face, Lixia defended herself. It was unintentional. How dare you? How dare you be so defiant? Xiao Xian took hold of Lixia and noticed her face reddening. Gently patting her hand, she addressed the enraged lady. Lixia inadvertently offended you, and you have scolded and struck her. What more do you seek? Being framed, Lixia knew explaining herself would be futile. Accusations would only escalate, and she opted not to waste her efforts. Hearing Xiao Xian's words, the lady glared, sneering. What's this? Madam Shao, are you implying dissatisfaction? Like mistress, like servant. Haha. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1626. Ridicule. Xiao Xian retorted, Madam Tian, you're correct, I am not convinced. She is my servant, and you have no authority over her. Madam Tian, you're well versed in rules and etiquette, so I must inquire, whose rules are these? Are they yours? You. As the onlookers had anticipated Xiao Xian and her servant facing retribution at the hands of Madame Tian, Xiao Xian, with just a few words, effectively countered the second young Madame Tian. The audience, who had initially doubted Xiao Xian's suitability among them, were now focused on discussions about rules and etiquette. Mocking Xiao Xian seemed to elevate their sense of superiority. Though Xiao Xian directed her words at Madame Tian, some other ladies couldn't help but feel a twinge of annoyance and embarrassment. Recognizing the potential for an escalating confrontation, one individual stepped forward and pulled the second young madam of the Tian family aside, attempting to mediate. Let it go, let it go. The girl acted impulsively. It's all right to teach her a lesson. No need to be so upset. Exactly. Escalating the situation won't help. Why let it go that far? Let's not engage in further argument. To be fair, Madame Shao might have been a bit harsh. The actions and words of the young Madame Tian were likely reflexive. Madame Shao shouldn't have criticized her so vehemently. That's right. Who wouldn't react strongly when startled? If it were Madame Shao, the response might have been even more intense. Madame Shao is known for her sharp tongue. This is quite evident. It's clear your servant made a mistake. Instead of offering an apology, you seem to be shifting blame onto others. Shouldn't Madame Shao be the one apologizing? Sigh, she won't care about that. Hee hee. Li Xia was both angry and anxious, tears welling up as she looked at Xiao Xian with concern. Madame was defending her, which warmed her heart. However, she hadn't expected the situation to unfold like this. The matter clearly had nothing to do with Madame. She had been targeted in a scheme. Yet, these people were distorting the truth and acting self-righteous. If Li Xia didn't know her master's character so well, she would rather apologize herself than witness her madam endure such injustices. Xiao Xian, however, wasn't about to let Li Xia shoulder the blame. She sneered, I'm not as adept at playing the blame game as many people here. I don't know if you're scared or not, but let me ask you this. If you accidentally kill someone out of shock, does that mean the authorities will excuse you? Is that not considered murder? A person who refuses to take responsibility for their actions, instead finding excuses left and right. Even when in the wrong, they still try to justify it. I don't understand how someone can have the audacity to speak of rules and etiquette. Or perhaps you're relying on the strength of your numbers. Declaring rules and etiquette while tarnishing the very essence of those words. No matter how wrong my servant may be, I will be the one to reprimand them. But hitting and scolding without explanation is shameless. Correcting my servant's mistake and dealing with those who meddle without permission are entirely separate matters. Don't conflate them. All of you make it sound so animated. Let me pose a question. If your servant makes a mistake, should others be allowed to casually and indifferently reprimand them? The ladies seethed with anger, yet fear of Xiao Xian's sharp tongue silenced them. They dared not utter a word, lest they face further humiliation. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1627. Revenge. The second young Madame Tian had been enjoying the support from those defending her, feeling a sense of pride. However, Xiao Xian's cutting remarks infuriated her to the point of outburst. Who do you think you are? If you can't teach me, I'll be the one teaching you, given how highly you think of yourself. You're becoming increasingly audacious. Xiao Xian looked at her and remarked, Second young Madame Tian, your manners and etiquette are truly admirable. I'm truly impressed. You. Forget it, forget it. Someone quickly intervened, pulling second young Madame Tian aside and offering soft advice. Why stoop to the level of someone like her? Let it go. You're magnanimous. Don't say too much. Just then, Princess Consort and Fourth Princess Consort sent someone to inquire about the situation. Attempting to downplay the matter, everyone put on smiles, eager to avoid further complications. Most importantly, They were well aware that they were in the wrong. Being unreasonable was one thing, but challenging Xianxia was another matter entirely. They knew they couldn't win. The embarrassment was palpable. While they suspected the fourth princess consort might take pleasure in seeing Xianxia face adversity, they hadn't wronged her before and felt too awkward to voice their opinions. The person seeking information wisely chose not to delve into the matter. It was the first month of the lunar calendar, a time for harmony and auspicious celebrations. Stirring up trouble was ill-advised. Consequently, the group proceeded ahead, deliberately ignoring Xianxia this time. They quickened their pace and maintained a distance from her and Wuxia. Wuxia, seething with anger, whispered to Xianxia, "Madam, these people are intolerable. Despite their claims of having manners, is this how they treat others?" Xianxia smiled and shared with Wuxia, "They treat people differently from us. We value treating people well, but they prioritize wielding power." Wuxia was taken aback, covering her mouth as she chuckled. Xianxia joined in the laughter. The silly girl had a generous heart, and that pleased Xianxia. "Is your face okay?" Wuxia shook her head hastily. "I'm fine. It's my fault for involving you." "Don't be silly. It's not about you. What happens to me has nothing to do with you. Don't be upset. These people will face consequences." Wuxia nodded, finding solace in Madam's reassurance. Little did she know that retribution would come sooner than expected. With the theater arranged, everyone took their seats. The prince's concubines engaged in lively conversations, choosing scenes for themselves. The madams of higher status also selected scenes. The troupe promptly began performing according to the script. Xianxia cast a glance at the trees in the yard outside the opera house, a cunning smile flickering across her eyes. Having developed and evolved persistently, she could now control plants to a certain extent without direct contact. Although the range of this control was smaller without direct touch, it proved convenient. While an outdoor setting would yield a better effect, the indoor theater was sufficient for Xianxia's purposes. Engrossed in the unfolding performance on stage, everyone's attention was captivated. Even the maidservants and older women standing behind, at the sides, and along the corridor outside craned their necks to catch a glimpse of the stage. Unbeknownst to anyone, the previously bare and gray branches of a crabapple tree in the West Mansion courtyard, with a diameter exceeding 20 centimeters, were gradually sprouting visible buds. These buds expanded, transformed into delicate pink blossoms, and slowly opened, revealing their vibrant hues, one by one. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1628. Blossom. The entire transformation took less than 3 minutes. The once gray and barren crabapple tree now burst into a profusion of flowers. Pink blossoms densely adorned the branches, creating a breathtaking spectacle. The trees were now adorned with flowers, creating a vision of clouds. From a distance, it resembled a pink cloud gently swaying in the breeze under the bright sunlight, a truly beautiful sight. Once everything was accomplished, Xianxia retracted her power. Shortly after, exclamations filled the air. "Ah! It's blooming! Look, it's blooming! What? Can you believe it? The crabapple tree. It's blooming! Ah! Heavens! Am I hallucinating? It was completely bare just a moment ago. I didn't imagine it. How is this possible? It's so peculiar. Heavenly Bodhisattva." The maidservants on the corridor were utterly astonished, their worldviews on the verge of shattering. Witnessing what seemed like a miracle, they couldn't contain their excitement, engaging in non-stop discussions. Caught up in their astonishment, the maidservants momentarily forgot themselves. Their animated conversation quickly drew the attention of those inside the opera house. Frowning, they went out to scold the maidservants, stern expressions on their faces. The maidservants, eager to share their discovery, all talked at once, pointing excitedly at the splendid crabapple tree bathed in sunlight. Witnessing the transformation, the maids and other servants couldn't help but widen their eyes and exclaim, "Ah!" Some of the elder ones even doubted their eyesight due to age and hastily rubbed their eyes, peering closely to ensure they weren't seeing things. The esteemed Auntie Tang stammered, when did these flowers bloom? Why wasn't it reported earlier?" All the maidservants burst into laughter. "You've got it wrong. The flowers just bloomed. We just noticed. That can't be possible. It's true, Auntie Tang. When the masters entered the opera house, there was nothing there. There's no reason for all of us to see and remember wrongly. What? Auntie Tang sought repeated confirmations. Eventually she sighed, exchanging bewildered glances with the others. While it might be conceivable for one person to misperceive, or even 2 or 3 to overlook something, it defied belief that a group of 20 to 30 people could collectively misjudge and misremember such a sight. Auntie Tang was about to head into the opera house to report to the 4th princess consort when a commotion reached her ears. It appeared that a lady inside had inadvertently turned her head toward the row window and spotted the pink and beautiful crabapple flowers. She cried out in surprise, capturing everyone's attention. The allure of this sight far surpassed the scenes unfolding on stage. Now, all eyes were on the blossoms. The maidservants promptly hushed, retreating to the side obediently. However, their eyes sparkled with excitement. They had never witnessed or even heard of such an extraordinary phenomenon. Sharing this story with their companions, especially those in other residences, might be met with disbelief. Princess Consort, 4th Princess Consort, and the others approached, gazing up at the pink and plump flowers on the trees. Exclamations of awe escaped their lips. A lady broke into a smile, declaring, "This is a joyous occasion, a joyous occasion. It's a tremendous auspicious sign. It signifies that the 4th prince's residence is rich in vital energy and blessed by the heavens." All the madams and young ladies beamed, joining in the sentiment. Absolutely, the crabapple tree is a symbol of wealth, auspiciousness, and prosperity. At this moment, while flowers elsewhere remain unopened, the 4th prince's residence is already in full bloom. Truly remarkable. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1629. A fortune. These flowers, grass, and trees hold spiritual significance. Look at the vitality of these begonia flowers. The 4th prince's residence is sure to be blessed this year. It's an auspicious sign. Yes. The sentiments of everyone resonated with the 4th princess consort, filling her with joy. In contrast, the princess consort's face contorted with anger and disbelief as she glared at the blooming flowers. Good omen? Good luck? Spiritual presence in flowers and trees? Omens? The prince was born into the prosperous Tian family, and their wealth was already substantial. What more auspicious signs did the 4th prince desire? What additional good luck did he seek? Were they insinuating rebellion? But why, of all places, did such a favorable event occur in the 4th prince's residence? Even if the flowers and trees possessed life, the spiritual essence should reside in the crown prince's abode. The flattering and laughter from the ladies felt like sharp needles, each word piercing Princess Consort's heart. She could ignore other matters. They were inconsequential. However, she would not tolerate anything that cast doubt on the crown prince's position. Unable to endure it any longer, Princess Consort spoke calmly. It's bitterly cold, so why is the crabapple tree suddenly blooming? Moreover, it would be understandable if just 1 or 2 branches were in bloom, but the entire tree covered in flowers is certainly not normal. Besides, I distinctly recall that the crabapple tree showed no signs of blooming when we passed by earlier. In such a short time, how could it? It's truly peculiar. A hush fell over the crowd, the smiles fading from their faces. Most had come to realize the inappropriateness of praising the 4th prince's mansion in front of the princess consort. A sense of unease spread among the assembly. The madams and young madams of the Tian family, who had been the most fervent in their praise, now felt a heightened sense of discomfort. Guiltily, they lowered their heads and averted their eyes. The 4th princess consort's smile froze in response. Princess consort, on the other hand, felt a surge of satisfaction. She smiled and quipped to the 4th princess consort, "Have you orchestrated something to bring such joy to everyone?" Internally seething, the 4th princess consort had no intention of mocking anyone, especially not the princess consort. How would I know? The crabapple tree clearly bloomed. I find it quite beautiful. There's nothing strange about it. The world is filled with all sorts of peculiarities. What's the harm if a tree decides to bloom? I find the madam's reasoning quite plausible. This area likely boasts favorable terrain with abundant energy veins. The recent sunny weather and warmth have prompted the blooming, haven't they? She was not afraid of Princess Consort like others might be. It was a propitious omen, and she saw no reason to downplay it. Envy flashed in Princess Consort's eyes at the auspicious sign bestowed upon the fourth prince's mansion. However, her envy meant little. While simmering with fury internally, Princess Consort managed to maintain a composed demeanor. She smiled and remarked, "Fourth sister-in-law, your explanation seems rather baseless. If this location truly enjoys favorable conditions and warmth, there should be more than one crabapple tree here. Why is this the sole blooming tree? It doesn't add up." Furthermore, as we passed by earlier, this crabapple tree was still barren. Not a single flower bud was visible. The sudden burst of blossoms doesn't make sense. In my opinion, this is highly unorthodox. A momentary unease settled over the crowd, their expressions subtly shifting. Deep down, they found themselves increasingly aligned with Princess Consort's perspective. Indeed, this whole thing appeared highly weird. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1630. Too strange. The fourth Princess Consort erupted in anger and retorted with a change in expression. "Sister-in-law, what do you mean? It's the first month of the lunar calendar. Who are you cursing?" Seeing the fourth Princess Consort lose her composure, Princess Consort felt a surge of satisfaction. She spoke in a calm and sincere tone. "Fourth sister-in-law, I'm not cursing anyone. I'm merely offering a friendly reminder. As the saying goes, truth is often unwelcome, but you shouldn't turn a blind eye to it. This matter seems to be filled with heresy, unorthodox practices, and an air of malignancy. Fourth sister-in-law, why not consult with fourth brother and invite a Taoist master to perform a purification ceremony?" "You!" The fourth Princess Consort seethed. She sneered and declared, "It seems you're intentionally causing trouble during the first month of the lunar year. I find these flowers quite splendid. I'll keep and admire them. There's no heresy, unorthodoxy, or malignancy. Our prince is the scion of a dragon. Such things are unfounded. Sister-in-law, you're overthinking." Princess Consort snorted. "I'm just offering advice. If you don't value it, then so be it." The fourth Princess Consort grinned meaningfully. "Enough with the flowers. Why don't we return and continue enjoying the performance?" After the uproar, who would still be in the mood for the show? However, the banquet couldn't simply end there, so they all forced smiles and agreed. Princess Consort nodded with a forced smile. "In that case, please proceed. Sister-in-law, please go ahead." The fourth Princess Consort smiled and turned to instruct the chief palace maid beside her. "Zhao, have some people cut a few of these crabapple flowers and send them to the opera house." "Yes, Princess Consort." The fourth Princess Consort shot a provocative look at Princess Consort, clearly gearing up for a confrontation. Princess Consort displayed a hint of anger while suppressing her frustration. Observing the second lady of the Tian family, Xianxia activated her power. A sturdy tree root suddenly emerged from the ground, discreetly nudging the second young Madame Tian under her shoes. Unnoticed by the crowd, the subtle intervention with the tree root went unseen, concealed beneath the long skirts of the attendees. To onlookers, it appeared that the second young Madame Tian was walking gracefully, likely tripping over the hem of her dress, causing her to scream and lurch forward. The maidservant accompanying her failed to restrain her, and the sudden pounce caught the two young madams off guard. The pair, holding hands and laughing as they strolled, inadvertently collided with Princess Consort. Reacting instinctively, someone took a step back, but the momentum of the collision caused the two young madams to tumble onto Princess Consort. In the ensuing chaos, Auntie Fu and she, attempting to assist Princess Consort, ended up bumping into each other, failing to prevent the fall. The unfortunate outcome saw Princess Consort on the ground, a sharp pain in her palm, and a broken jade pendant that had adorned her waist. The commotion drew immediate concern from those nearby. "Princess Consort, are you all right?" Princess Consort. Wincing from the pain in her palm, Princess Consort concealed the bleeding wound, determined not to reveal her vulnerability. She accepted the help offered to her, all the while hiding the stained and broken aspects of her previously immaculate appearance. Despite the external assistance, the scene portrayed a stark contrast to her previous elegance, now marred by a mess of torn fabric and damaged attire. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1631. Fighting face-to-face. Princess Consort found herself in an unprecedented state of embarrassment, her face flushed with anger and her overall appearance significantly marred. Witnessing the aftermath of their accidental collision, the two young madams immediately knelt down, fear etched across their pale faces. Princess Consort, please forgive me, I didn't do it on purpose. Princess Consort, please forgive me. Facing their pleas, Princess Consort cast a cold, stern gaze upon them, her eyes then shifting to second young Madame Tian, who appeared utterly frightened. Kneeling in submission, second young Madame Tian pleaded, I didn't do it on purpose, Princess Consort, please forgive me. Deep down, second young Madame Tian felt both vexed and distressed. She couldn't comprehend what had transpired. Why had the flat ground seemingly transformed into uneven terrain, causing her to trip and fall in such a pitiful state? Upon regaining her senses, she scrutinized the ground, finding no irregularities. Perplexed, she suspected an illusion. Attempting to shift blame onto Chao Xian, she realized that Chao Xian stood too far away to be responsible. Forced to confess, second young Madame Tian found herself at a loss. Chao Xian, observing the trio in their humbled state, recognized them as those who had mocked her. The notion of retribution lingered in her thoughts. However, she couldn't openly revel in it, resigned to savoring her satisfaction in solitude. The fourth Princess Consort relished the situation, thinking to herself, you couldn't stand our nonsensical talk, could you? Heh, karma has arrived, hasn't it? She found satisfaction in witnessing the person who valued her dignity the most making a public spectacle of herself. Approaching the distressed trio, the fourth Princess Consort expressed concern. I don't believe they did it intentionally. It's the first month of the lunar year, and they've admitted their mistake. Sister-in-law, let's forgive them. How about I accompany you to change? Given the unintentional nature of the incident, Princess Consort had no grounds for punishment. Suppressing her grievances, she generously raised her hand, saying, all right, get up. I understand that it wasn't deliberate. Thank you, Princess Consort. The three of them sighed in relief and helped the maidservant to her feet. As the fourth Princess Consort led Princess Consort to change, she instructed the other Princess Consorts to invite the guests into the theater, as the show couldn't proceed until Princess Consort arrived. Taking advantage of the moment, Chao Xian approached second young Madame Tian and addressed her with a sly smile, ensuring her voice carried enough for those nearby to hear. Princess Consort, your grace and magnanimity truly exemplify royal decorum. No need to argue with second young Madame. Thankfully, my Xianxia didn't accidentally push her down, or she might have faced severe scolding. Second young Madame Tian held her breath and shot a glare at Chao Xian, recognizing her own wrongdoing but avoiding further confrontation. Chao Xian smiled and walked past her with Xianxia, determined to find an opportunity for a comeback. She was prepared to endure mockery if it meant resisting the pressure to please Princess Consort and fourth Princess Consort. With plans to leave the capital soon, she cared little for potential consequences. She would not return anytime soon, and even if she did, she wouldn't rely on connections. There was little to worry about. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1632. The fourth prince's residence is famous. Second young Madame Tian's acquaintances exchanged glances and sighed inwardly. Madame Shao seemed too stubborn for her own good. Was she oblivious or clever? Even with Lord Shao in dire straits, she failed to grasp the importance of maintaining a low profile, building favorable connections, and avoiding unnecessary conflicts. Instead, she seemed determined to offend others to the point of no return. Oh well, let her be. She who is down need not fear a fall, so she might as well embrace a vicious cycle. It was wiser not to provoke her again. Mocking her further would only lead to embarrassment. Word quickly spread about Chao Xian mocking second young Madame Tian, but the ladies viewed it with indifference. Fortunately, the situation finally calmed down. No one dared to accuse her of ingratiating herself with fourth Princess Consort and Princess Consort. Princess Consort, disgruntled, left the gathering promptly after changing her clothes. Aware of her mood, the fourth Princess Consort saw her off. With Princess Consort's departure, the audience couldn't continue enjoying the show, prompting a gradual dispersal of guests, including Chao Xian. In the end, only a few close associates of the fourth princess consort concocted excuses to stay for a small gathering. The fourth princess consort felt thoroughly aggrieved. Princess consort's outburst had marred the banquet, and the lingering guests couldn't help but glance at the begonia tree in full bloom. The fourth princess consort's heart raced with anxiety. To dispel the joy, she ordered red silk to be fetched and draped over the tree. After all, the blooming flower was deemed too peculiar, heretical and untimely. The blossoming of the crabapple tree posed an awkward situation for the fourth princess consort. The incident occurred during the banquet, and its conspicuousness made it impossible to conceal. Now, she had the daunting task of devising an explanation for the public. Xiao Xian seemed to revel in creating headaches for her, preventing her from finding further trouble. The thought of presenting her with a unique gift, ensuring her name echoed throughout the capital, filled Princess Consort with satisfaction, despite harboring anger within. Returning home, she shed her cumbersome attire and erupted in frustration. It was evident that the fourth princess consort orchestrated this intentionally, making things challenging for her. The arrogance and meddling of the Tian family irked her, and Xiao Xian's distant attitude upon seeing Shao Yunduan puzzled her. What did she imply? None of them are trustworthy. News of the sudden blossoming of a crabapple tree in the fourth prince's residence spread rapidly, accompanied by vivid descriptions. Many reacted with disbelief, deeming the situation absurd. Despite initial skepticism, the solemn vows and first-hand accounts from family members compelled people to reluctantly accept this improbable truth. Various interpretations emerged, with some seeing it as an auspicious sign and others deeming it ominous. The fourth prince's faction remained silent. The fourth prince was irate, viewing the incident as unfavorable. An auspicious sign in his residence? He is just a prince. The omen should be occurring in the palace or the crown prince's residence, not in his. What would his father and the crown prince think of him? If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1633. She doesn't understand. How was he going to explain this? Could it be that he had to claim it was an evil creature? That would be inauspicious. The fourth prince could not help but scold the fourth princess consort. The fourth princess consort felt wronged. How was she supposed to know that this would happen? If she had known, she would not have attended the banquet that day. Sure enough, the emperor had heard the news too. He even sent a young eunuch to the fourth prince's mansion to investigate. The fourth prince was scared out of his wits. He insisted that he didn't know what was going on either. It must be that this crabapple tree was good-looking, energetic, and overnourished. It bloomed just like that. This wasn't a sudden bloom. There were flower buds on the tree to begin with, but they weren't conspicuous. No one paid attention, so they naturally neglected it. Then, because of the warm weather, they all bloomed at once. There were all kinds of strange things in the world. The fourth prince even suggested that it was indeed rare to see a crabapple tree bloom so well at this time. Why not have someone carefully dig it out and send it to the palace so that father could admire it? The young eunuch did not dare to make this decision and went back to report in detail. The emperor didn't want the tree. He said that it wasn't easy for the crabapple tree to grow so big. He would keep it for himself. Seeing that his father had no intention of blaming him for this, the fourth prince heaved a sigh of relief. While the fourth prince heaved a sigh of relief, the crown prince felt very uncomfortable. An auspicious sign? What kind of auspicious sign did his fourth brother want? Was he not even going to hide it? Although many people said that this matter was too strange and most likely not a good thing, the crown prince was more inclined to believe it. However, there were still individuals who insisted that this was an auspicious sign. This matter lodged like a thorn in his heart, causing him profound unease and discomfort. Prompted by a reminder, the crown prince suddenly recollected that Xiao Xian was the one who had rescued the peony flowers in the court. Perhaps she possessed more knowledge about such matters than anyone else. Consequently, he urged Princess Consort to dispatch someone to consult Xiao Xian. Princess Consort, though displeased, did not dare to rebuff the crown prince's request, so she sent Auntie Liang on the errand. Auntie Fu expressed her desire to go, but Princess Consort declined. She couldn't fathom why Auntie Fu persistently tried to convince her that she had misunderstood Ms. Chao. She refused to heed her advice and harbored no inclination to entertain any positive remarks about Ms. Chao. Auntie Liang adopted a much more agreeable attitude this time. Bearing the Crown Prince's mission in mind, she recognized Xiao Xian's reputed temperament and refrained from putting on airs. After all, even if Xiao Xian became the target of the Crown Prince and Princess Consort's disdain, it wouldn't bode well for Auntie Liang. Xiao Xian hadn't anticipated a visit from the East Palace for such a matter. Wasn't this an exaggeration? Although Xiao Xian expressed her surprise, she couldn't explain why, so she offered her apologies. Auntie Liang displayed no surprise. Xiao Xian knew about peony flowers, but expecting her to be an expert on all flowers would be unreasonable. Smiling, Auntie Liang advised, "In that case, I'll convey this message to you. Moreover, it's best to keep this knowledge to yourself. Disclosing it may lead to unwarranted speculation and complications. What are your thoughts, Madame Shao?" She wanted her to remain discreet. Xiao Xian nodded. Certainly. Auntie Liang departed satisfied. When the fourth princess consort extended an invitation to Xiao Xian for the banquet, and when Princess Consort organized the event, she didn't want to exclude Xiao Xian, so she invited her as well. Xiao Xian found herself spending another day in the Crown Prince's mansion. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1634. Cloudwater Town. It wasn't until the 11th that Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan finally took a break and headed straight to Cloudwater Town with Li Xia and their companions. On the farmland in Cloudwater Town, land lay bare and untended. The earliest they could start cleaning and preparing the land would be February. Actual farming would commence when the weather warmed up, with the subsequent 2 rounds of spring rain nurturing the soil. Despite the barren fields, the manor was brimming with activity. Xiao Xian had become a favorite among the children, who adored her warmth and the abundance of sweets, snacks, and fruits she shared. Xiao Xian enjoyed preparing various foods. With a sizable crowd around, cooking might be inconvenient, but barbecue, dumplings, buns, and steamed rice cakes proved to be practical choices. Laughter echoed through the entire courtyard every day. Occasionally, when the weather permitted, Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan would venture out to climb mountains. Under the vast sky and expansive landscape, clarity and openness prevailed. I.e., Sun Bai and Sun Qian excelled at hunting, and Xiao Xian's interest in hunting rekindled. She joined them in the forest for a hunting expedition. Winter prey tended to be adept at hiding and less active, making it a challenging time for hunting with limited harvest expectations. Yet, Shao Yunduan had no expectations as long as his wife was happy. Sun Bai, Sun Qian, and the others were eager for the outdoor activity. Additionally, Lu Fu, Wu Guan, and several others formed a sizable team. With Xiao Xian leading the way, even winter hunting promised a fruitful outcome. After successfully hunting more than 10 pheasants and rabbits, Sun Bai and the others were elated. They discovered a surprisingly abundant array of prey in the forest near Cloudwater Town. It turned out to be an excellent hunting ground. Their luck today was exceptionally good. They successfully hunted 2 wild goats, one weighing approximately 60 to 70 catties and the other around 50 catties. Gleefully, they carried their prized catches back. Upon returning to the farm, a crowd gathered to witness the commotion. Xiao Xian reserved a leg of lamb, some lamb chops, mutton, and haggis for themselves, while the rest was handed over to the women in the large kitchen for cooking the next day. Joy radiated through the farm. Zhang Sang and the others joined Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan for dinner. Fresh lamb bones were stewed along with the mutton, and a hearty bowl was served with cabbage, vermicelli, scallions, and coriander. The enticing aroma wafted throughout the yard. The table was adorned with steamed mutton, stewed pheasant with wild mushrooms, spicy rabbit meat, stir-fried pea seedlings, stir-fried eggs with winter melon slices, pickled radish shreds, and pine eggs, a festive spread befitting the spring festival. Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan departed on the 18th day of the first month. In the preceding days, news had spread across the farm that their old master and madam were leaving the capital. The tenants continued with their farming duties following the established routines, and their own farmers performed their assigned tasks. Adhering to Song's recommendation, Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan appointed Zhang Jie as the leader of this area. Zhao Shu would send periodic checks on Zhang Jie, and Xiao Xian provided a means for him to communicate with Zhao Shu. Zhang Sang and the others continued to reside on the farm, receiving wages according to the terms of their contract. During their time on the farm, Zhang Sang and the others enjoyed a tranquil and secure life. They harbored no worries about securing hard work or food for the next day. Grateful and trusting, they held Xiao and Shao Yunduan in high regard. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1635. Planning to accompany. Upon learning that Shao Yunduan was slated for a transfer, reluctance hung in the air among the community. Curious children persistently inquired about Xiao Xian's return to the capital, unable to bear parting with Shao Yunduan. To them, the notion of An's province held no significance, and they assumed Lord Shao's relocation was merely a result of a promotion to another place. In contrast, Zhang Sang, Lu Changming, Wu Guan, and the others were familiar with Zhao. However, they chose not to disclose the details to the broader group, deeming it unwise to stir emotions. Even if others were aware, it wouldn't alter the situation. Ignorance in this case seemed preferable. Yet, they couldn't remain idle. After deliberation, Zhang Sang proposed that Lord Shao and Madame Shao required assistance while out of town. Consequently, he decided to bring some capable individuals, along with good seedlings, to An's province with Shao Yunduan and Xiao Xian. Despite Shao Yunduan's gratitude, Zhang Sang and the others insisted on accompanying him. Recognizing their capabilities and self-defense skills, Shao Yunduan accepted their offer with thanks. Zhang Sang chuckled heartily. "Lord, you're too polite. This is what we should do." Since their arrival at the farm, Zhang Sang had consistently addressed Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan as Madam and Lord. The couple had provided shelter and stability to over 70 individuals, offering them a prolonged period of contentment. In their time of need, turning a blind eye and reveling in peace would be inhumane. Moreover, after years of confinement, the group was eager to explore the world beyond. Following thorough discussions, Zhang Sang and the others decided that Zhang Sang, Wu Guan, and Yang Mu, a returning army veteran, would be accompanied by 10-year-old Lu Qian, Emo Li, Lu Fu, Madame Song, Shower, Qing Lian, Ms. Miao, and Chao Qiao, a total of 11 people. If Shao Air expressed the desire to go, Ms. Song wouldn't hinder her son. Naturally, she would follow suit. Ms. Miao took the initiative to join, being close to Ms. Song. With a companion in tow, it would be convenient for household tasks and organizing for the journey. Chao Qiao, unable to bear parting with Qing Lian, was overjoyed. Thus, the decision was finalized. Lu Changming, Song Guangyao, and others stayed at the manor to attend to the remaining people and manage the estate. With the decision made, preparations were underway. Given the considerable distance, procuring a carriage became imperative. A pre-made one wouldn't suffice. Modifications were needed to enhance sturdiness and comfort. 11 people would require at least 3 carriages, 2 for seating and 1 for luggage. Xiao Xian initially thought 4 carriages would be more comfortable, but Zhang Sang and the others argued that 2 would suffice. With the need for alternating drivers, having too many carriages would prove inconvenient. The packing was minimal. Just a few clothes and essentials. After a discussion with Shao Yunduan, Zhang Sang decided to take a few men with him to An City to gather information, ensuring Shao Yunduan and the others wouldn't be entirely clueless. This plan was agreed upon. As a result, Zhang Sang departed with Yang Mu and Lu Qian, while the others followed Shao Yunduan and Xiao Xian. On the 3rd day of February, Shao Yunduan and Xiao Xian discreetly left the capital. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1636. Leaving the capital early in the morning, a discreet carriage gradually departed from the capital, blending into the vast and bustling crowd. Once outside the city, Xiao Xian couldn't resist lifting a corner of the curtain to peer outside. Turning to Shao Yunduan with a smile, she remarked, "This will be a positive change for us. Let us soar in the heavens and swim in the vast sea." Regardless of the crown prince's fortune, they had no desire to revel in his glory. If the crown prince faced misfortune, they aimed to avoid entanglement. Shao Yunduan chuckled, embracing Xiao Xian. "Your sentiments echo exactly what your husband is thinking. You and I share an unspoken understanding." The two exchanged smiles. Wu Guan awaited them 20 miles away. Upon their rendezvous, the group set off together. 7 carriages moved in unison, presenting a majestic sight. However, for travelers embarking on a long journey, Their luggage was surprisingly minimal. The crown prince contemplated whether he should meet Shao Yunduan before his departure. Despite everything, Shao Yunduan was still aligned with him. Shao Yunduan's stubbornness kept him from betraying the crown prince. In the crown prince's heart, he still held admiration for Shao Yunduan and wished for him to reconsider. Yet, summoning him for a meeting might imply a concession, making the crown prince feel somewhat embarrassed, typical of his indecisive nature. However, Shao Yunduan had already set out before the crown prince could make a decision. After Shao Yunduan's departure, the crown prince felt a twinge of annoyance. Princess Consort sensed his thoughts and attempted to persuade him. "You've done everything you could for Lord Shao. Without your recognition and support, he wouldn't have achieved such prominence with his background and lack of connections. He wouldn't have offended the Tian family upon arriving in the capital because of Ms. Qiao. These are all your doings. He could have had a better future, but because of Ms. Qiao, he chose this path and let down your kindness and expectations. In my opinion, he's a fool. It's good that he's gone. Crown Prince, you don't have to blame yourself. You didn't do anything wrong." Hearing Princess Consort's words, the Crown Prince couldn't help but laugh. He burst into laughter and said, "I was feeling uneasy, but after hearing what you said, I feel much better. You are indeed my good wife." Princess Consort smiled shyly. "It is my duty. It is my good fortune to have such a good wife like Princess Consort. As for Officer Shao, well, let's not dwell on it. Is Mr. Xie still at your home?" Princess Consort was uncertain of Xie Jingrong's whereabouts in her own home, but as he was on good terms with her nephew, she nodded with a smile. "Yes, he has always been around. I will ask someone to inform him to meet you." This year marked Qi Xian's 47th year. In July, there would be another fall quarter examination, and in the following spring, another spring quarter examination after 3 years. A new primus would be crowned. The crown prince harbored the hope that Xie Jingrong would be the new primus. By then, Shao Yunduan would fade into obscurity. People would remember the crown prince's failure in retaining his trusted officer. The crown prince shared this sentiment. He nodded and smiled. "If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 1637. Eldest young Master Xia left unexpectedly. 3 days passed, and Princess Consort had not received a reply. Growing increasingly anxious, Princess Consort personally sent Auntie Fu to inquire. Feeling the urgency of the matter, she couldn't afford any further delay. What would the crown prince think of her if she couldn't handle such a simple task? To her dismay, Auntie Fu returned with troubling news for Princess Consort. Mr. Xie had left the capital, intending to visit friends in Gubei and wouldn't be back for a month or 2. It was also possible that he might not return to the capital anytime soon, depending on his mood. Princess Consort was dumbfounded. In fact, her maternal family, the Fu family, was equally stunned. They dared not take the initiative to inform her that young Master Xie had left a message and departed. The news had left them searching for words. Xie Jingrong had stayed in the capital to cover up for Chao Xian and Shao Yunduan, discussing the situation in An's province with Shao Yunduan. He had maintained a facade of politeness. However, when Shao Yunduan and Chao Xian departed, he didn't even show up to bid them farewell. Unhappy and unable to tolerate the situation any longer, he decided to leave the capital. The more the crown prince expressed goodwill, the more repulsed Xie Jingrong felt. He knew the sacrifices Shao Yunduan had made for the crown prince, both openly and covertly, yet the crown prince forced him to endure such absurd treatment. Xie Jingrong failed to see how the crown prince could be deemed kind. If Shao Yunduan could be treated like this today, who's to say the same wouldn't happen to him in the future? As fury consumed Princess Consort, she instructed Auntie Fu to go again and summoned her second brother to her side. She desired to ask him personally. In reality, there wasn't much harm in personally seeking answers from Xie Jingrong, especially considering he had already left. The eldest young Master Xie didn't have any obligations to the Fu family, nor had he explicitly promised them anything. He hadn't even made a special visit to the crown prince. So, what power did the Fu family really hold? With no other option, Princess Consort instructed her second brother to dispatch more men to Gubei and retrieve Xie Jingrong as swiftly as possible. Regardless, he had to meet the crown prince first. Princess Consort regretted her delayed action. Initially she felt reassured, thinking Xie Jingrong intended to join the crown prince, so there was no rush. She anticipated him visiting her. Little did she know. Had she known earlier, she would have invited him over much sooner. As princess consort procrastinated, the crown prince's impatience grew. After 6 or 7 days, he was on the verge of becoming truly angry. What were the Fu family's intentions? Yet, receiving no updates from the individuals sent to Gubei, princess consort had no choice but to reveal the truth to the crown prince. His fury erupted upon hearing the news. What was wrong with the Fu family? They couldn't even retain a person. Weren't they claiming that Xie Jingrong got along well with the young masters of the Xie family? Did someone offend them? Why would Xie Jingrong leave so abruptly? Despite his frustration, the crown prince clung to hope. If the Fu family had offended someone, as long as Xie Jingrong was truly committed to pursuing an official position, he would surely return. Patience was all that was needed. Crown Prince scolded Princess Consort, instructing her not to offend Xie Jingrong when he returned. Additionally, he emphasized the importance of reporting any issues promptly rather than concealing them. Princess Consort inwardly sighed in relief, promptly agreeing to the Crown Prince's instructions. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1638. On the road, Xiao Xian, Shao Yunduan, and the others departed from the capital without hesitation. 3 days later, they had already distanced themselves significantly, covering over 700 miles of travel. Fatigue set in, prompting them to slow down. They adopted a more leisurely pace, not setting off early each day and checking into a hotel around 4 in the afternoon. An's province lay in the southeast of the Great Qin Empire. To travel south from the capital, one had to take a dry road, covering approximately 2,600 kilometers. Under normal circumstances, the journey would require around 20 days. Heading south proved more challenging, especially as they entered territories marked by crisscrossing mountains and ridges. Traveling 100 miles a day was the carriage's limit, and sometimes it was even less. Xiao Xian, Shao Yunduan, and their companions anticipated spending at least a month on this leg of their journey. Fortunately, they had ample time before assuming office. They only needed to arrive within 2 months, allowing them to progress slowly. The extended trip proved enjoyable. Passing through vibrant towns with distinct local characteristics, they would settle down early. This allowed them time to explore local markets, savor regional delicacies, and purchase items for the road. However, transporting local specialties proved challenging due to the journey's length. In the blink of an eye, they transitioned from the expansive northern plains to mountainous terrain. Endless mountains unfolded before them, verdant and lush. Springs and waterfalls occasionally punctuated the scenery. Cliffs towered high, creating natural barriers. As they traversed remote mountain paths, encounters with wild sheep, boars, and various other beasts became commonplace. The flapping wings of frightened pheasants and birds added to the natural spectacle. On one occasion, they even spotted a large white-fronted tiger crouched on a distant cliff, stirring excitement among the group. Considering their combined strength, confronting a large tiger posed no problem for them. Had it not been for the distance and time constraints, Sun Bai, Sun Qian, Yi, and others would have eagerly tested their mettle against the formidable feline. As they journeyed further south, the temperature gradually rose. The landscape transformed with the flourishing of grass, the flight of orioles, and the blooming of various wildflowers. The mountains and wilderness turned into a captivating scene, adorned with colorful blossoms that complemented the young leaves and fresh grass. The air carried a melange of fragrances: flowers, grass, leaves, soil, and the warmth of the spring sun, refreshing the senses, inducing joy, and expanding their horizons. Their group, venturing into An's province, was likely unprecedented. Shao Yunduan had severed ties with the crown prince, making him appear unlikely to rise again in the eyes of others. For the next few years, he was perceived as a non-threatening figure. In these circumstances, Shao Yunduan enjoyed a sense of security. No intelligent prince would attempt to scheme against him at this juncture. Being the emperor's primus, Shao Yunduan remained a figure of significance, and the emperor might remember him at any moment. Therefore, it made more sense for potential rivals to focus on gaining favor within the imperial court rather than plotting against him. With this understanding, Shao Yunduan and his men approached the journey with a relaxed mindset. Nevertheless, Sun Bai and Sun Qian remained vigilant. Daily, they assigned professional scouts to monitor any signs of abnormal activity. They strategically rested during the day, arranging their schedules with caution. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1639. Added within a few days, Wu Guan and the others were completely swayed by Sun Bai and Sun Qianxin, readily following their orders. During their journey, as they passed through bustling towns, the group visited brokers to scout for potential talents. Chao Xian and Shao Yunduan had limited personnel at their disposal, and Song's experience, along with Qing Yan's versatility, were insufficient. By the halfway point of their trip, they had essentially acquired everything they needed. 4 new girls named Kai Hua, Kai Yue, Kai Ming, and Kai Yun, aged between 12 and 14, joined the group. Li Chuan and Li Xia took charge of looking after them. Upon reaching their destination, Li Qiu and Li Xia would serve as Chao Xian's attendants, managing internal and external affairs, while the 4 girls handled miscellaneous tasks. Mian Mian, having worked as a street vendor from a young age, proved to be intelligent and adept at quick-witted tasks. Chao Xian, impressed with her capabilities, decided to mentor her. Mian Mian made significant progress in accounting, and Chao Xian planned to gradually entrust her with account books and some properties. Mian Mian's enthusiasm for the job was evident, her eyes lighting up when handling calculations. In this respect, Li Xia and Li Qiu couldn't compare. They found accounting challenging, and although Chao Xian had tried teaching them before, she eventually gave up. 2 more families, Xia San Zhao and his wife with a pair of children, and Kai Yu's parents, were added to the group. Chao Xian named the 4 page boys Jia, Yi, Bing, and Ding, around 13 or 14 years old, and assigned them to Songshi. Sun Bai and Sun Qian aimed to select promising individuals for martial arts training, but they only identified 3, all under the age of 12. As a result, the entire team nearly doubled in size, requiring 3 additional carriages. Fortunately, the remaining journey was not extensive, and in a few days, they would reach their destination. On a particular day, Chao Xian's secret could no longer be concealed. She was pregnant, nearly 3 months along. She had kept this information from Shao Yunduan, fearing that if he knew, he would hesitate to leave the capital. Despite initial worries, Chao Xian found solace in the belief that her superpower would safeguard her child. When Shao Yunduan heard the news, he was stunned. His immediate concern was for Chao Xian's well-being, anxiously holding her hands and attentively inquiring about her health, fatigue, and cravings. Amused, Chao Xian laughed, instructing him to treat her as he always had. Shao Yunduan, however, couldn't fathom it being the same and grew increasingly worried. He suggested having Yi and Sun Bai stay with her or proposed returning to their house. He believed her life would be better and happier in Shaoding village. Her mother and sister-in-law would be overjoyed at the news, and the extended family could assist in taking care of her. Most importantly, it would be much safer at home. Yet, Chao Xian firmly refused. She pressed herself into his arms, declaring that she would only go where he went. Looking up at him with a gentle smile, she teased, "If I don't guard you, countless fairies will pounce on you. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 1640. Pregnant. Caught between laughter and tears, Shao Yunduan insisted, "I promise, absolutely not." But Chao Xian refused to listen, covering her ears defiantly. "I'm not listening." Shao Yunduan attempted to speak, but Chao Xian persisted, playfully blocking out his words. After a brief standoff, Shao Yunduan decided to revisit the topic. "Why didn't you tell me that you're pregnant? If I hadn't sensed something was amiss, how long were you planning to keep it from me?" Feeling a pang of guilt, Chao Xian rolled her eyes and snuggled against his chest. "I found out myself not long ago, because I was on the road." "On the road?" Shao Yunduan found the explanation odd but initially didn't dwell on it. However, upon reflection, he berated himself for being foolish. Although her appearance hadn't changed, her actions and eating habits had become more cautious. He recalled her constant claims of tiredness and reluctance to be touched since leaving the capital. At the time, he attributed it to concerns about Anne's province. Now, He realized it was more than that. He chided himself for not paying closer attention and waiting until today to notice. Unconvinced by Chao Xian's explanation, Xiao Yunduan couldn't bring himself to believe it. Feeling a hint of panic, Chao Xian changed her story. I found out a few days ago, but I was afraid you would keep me here, so I kept it a secret. I've been trying to find the right time to tell you, but I haven't found the opportunity. Anyway, you know now. Look, I'm fine. Xiao Yunduan struggled to control his anger. You're right. Luckily nothing happened otherwise. He couldn't even bear to think about the potential consequences. The mere thought made his heart tremble, and cold sweat broke out on his back. This was their first child. Chao Xian, sensing his distress, subconsciously tightened her arms around herself. She gently caressed his long fingers and spoke softly. This is our first child, and I know what I'm doing. I will protect him well. Look, he's fine, right? Please don't blame me, Xiao Yunduan sighed helplessly. I'm not blaming you. Do you really not want to go home? No. Unable to force her, Xiao Yunduan conceded, okay. The plan had to change. The safety of Chao Xian and the child became the top priority. Chao Xian, relieved that Xiao Yunduan didn't force her to leave, began to comfort him. Husband, consider this. I'm pregnant, and you need to take care of me. People will be negligent, not keeping a close eye on us, and not taking us seriously. We can set up the trap slowly, catching them off guard. Isn't that good? She gently stroked her yet-to-swell abdomen, a smile playing on her lips. This child came at the right time. What a good child. As soon as she came, she numbed the enemy for her parents. Caught between laughter and tears, Xiao Yunduan threw her a look. My wife is right. What a good child. Chao Xian smiled proudly, and Xiao Yunduan, filled with tenderness and happiness, moved closer to her. Rubbing his face against hers, he smiled brightly. Wife, we are going to have a baby. We are already on the way to having a child. Yes, I was wrong. We are already on the way to having our child. He laughed happily. We are finally on the way to having a child. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1641. Be careful. Chao Xian's heart melted as well. She looked up at him with a smile and couldn't help but kiss him. Husband, have you been waiting for this child for a long time? Chao Xian leaned against Xiao Yunduan and asked slowly. Of course not. Xiao Yunduan burst into laughter and took her in his arms. We will have a child sooner or later. Chao Xian almost asked what if she was not able to give birth, but then she realized that what she said was inauspicious. The baby in her stomach was so aggrieved. So she changed her words and said with a smile, yes, I think so too. After some thought, she added, I want to have a girl and a boy. Xiao Yunduan smiled, looking even more gentle. I want to too. Let's work hard. Chao Xian burst into laughter and blushed. Still concerned, Xiao Yunduan asked someone to get a doctor to check on her. The news of Chao Xian's pregnancy was also announced. Everyone was happy for them and congratulated them endlessly. Xiao Yunduan looked very happy and full of smiles. He asked Lixia and Liqiu to cook the eggs and distribute them to everyone. He also gave out numerous red packets, making everyone very happy. After the doctor carefully examined her, he also congratulated her with a smile, indicating that the child in Madame Shao's stomach was very healthy. Both mother and child were in excellent condition. Xiao Yunduan, still in disbelief, asked for more details and then requested Xianxia to bring another doctor. He only felt at ease when the two doctors confirmed the same result. Caught between laughter and tears, Chao Xian said to him with a smile after the second doctor left, Are you relieved now? Xiao Yunduan looked at her with a smile. How could he be assured? They still had to travel. Although the doctor said that as long as she walked slowly, took care of herself on the way, paid attention to rest, and checked regularly, she should be fine. In this situation, she didn't even need to take pregnancy-stabilizing medicine. However, this was his wife and son after all. No matter how well the doctor spoke, he couldn't remain calm when he thought of the journey. As for what his unreliable wife said about, just like before, that was even more impossible. Other officials' wives were pregnant. Who didn't serve them well? Who was like his wife? She was actually still traveling. Just thinking about it made his heart ache. It was really too unfair to her. Thinking of this, Shao Yunduan took care of her carefully. From this day onwards, the group's speed clearly slowed down. They had initially covered a day's journey, but now it took 2 days. For those with better road conditions, the originally 2-day journey now took 3 days. No one had any objections. They felt that this was how it should be. Pregnant women were delicate to begin with. If anything happened, wouldn't she regret it? Qiao Xian thought that even if she went according to the speed, she would only be 7 or 8 days slower than before, so she could enjoy the special treatment. There were also advantages to walking slowly. The scenery was along the way. This was the best season of the year. Every day, there would be different beautiful scenery to admire. In the middle of March, they finally arrived in An's province. When they were still 2 days away from An's province, everyone stopped to rest and planned to enter the city in batches. Shao Yunduan and Qiao Xian brought Songshi, Lixia, Yi, Sun Bai, Sun Qian, Ms. Song, Shao Er, and Lu Fu. Half of the servants were bought, and Wu Guan and the rest were counted as another group. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1642. Entering the city. After Wu Guan and the others entered the city, they found an inn to stay in before contacting each other. On March 11th, Shao Yunduan arrived at An's city in the afternoon with his wife and his men. From afar, they could see the gray city wall that was neither tall nor short. The surroundings were filled with undulating mountains and forests. In late spring, the trees and grass were lush, making it look even deeper. Amidst the surrounding mountains, such a gray city looked even more lonely, desolate, and bleak. It was unknown if it was because of their preconceived notions, but when everyone looked at the city wall, the yellow soil, and the bumpy official road, they subconsciously felt desolate and sinister. Even though the sun was shining brightly, it still made people subconsciously nervous. After all, this was a bandit's nest. An's prefecture city was very large, but the population didn't seem to be high. There were only a few pedestrians and horses on the official road that entered and exited the city gate, making it look very deserted. In such a cold environment, Qiao Xian, Shao Yunduan, and the other 6 carriages were very conspicuous. Anyone who passed by them could not help but size them up curiously. When the convoy finally arrived at the city gate, a few soldiers guarding the city also looked over. Just as their carriage was about to enter the city, a few soldiers moved. Stop! They came forward with rusty spears and surrounded the most luxurious wagon that Qiao Xian and Shao Yunduan were in. Everyone in the carriage, get down! Shao Yunduan had no intention of concealing his identity and visiting incognito. Catching the culprits red-handed required boldness and a show of authority, which would be compromised if he hid his identity. Lixia lifted the curtain, and Shao Yunduan, with an air of authority, opened a fraction of a tail and rushed towards the soldiers. I am the new prefect. 2 men, lead the way to the government office. The soldiers widened their eyes, dumbfounded. Sun Bai, who was driving the carriage, flicked his wrist, and his black whip drew a sharp arc in the air. He shouted in a low voice. How dare you? Why aren't you bowing to the Lord Prefect? Although these soldiers couldn't read, they were familiar with official seals and the decorum surrounding them. No one would be so audacious as to make such a jest in broad daylight. While they knew the new prefect would assume office soon, no one expected him to enter the city so discreetly. Reprimanded by Sun Bai, the soldiers' hearts trembled, and they hastily knelt down. Greetings, Lord. Greetings, Lord. It seemed that with just 6 people, the illusion of a bustling scene was successfully created. Shao Yunduan commanded, Get up. Casually pointing at the 2 soldiers in front, he continued, You 2 lead the way. The rest, return to your posts. Yes. The bewildered soldiers led the way while the others stood guard, looking at each other in confusion. Why did this prefect seem so different from the others? And why had he let them off so easily? Hey, what are we waiting for? Hurry up and report it. Oh yes. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1643, Reception. Soon, the 4 of them hastily made their escape, dispersing without a clear plan on where to report. Word of the prefect's imminent arrival quickly circulated. Upon reaching the state office, Shao Yunduan, Qiao Xian, and the others found Deputy Prefect Guan Feng waiting outside, accompanied by fellow officials. A modest gathering of around 20 people stood nonchalantly, engaging in casual conversations with an air of indifference. Songsher and Qing Yan assisted Shao Yunduan out of the carriage, and attendants flocked around him. Deputy Prefect Guan was momentarily taken aback but quickly led the group forward, extending a courteous greeting with a smile. "Are you Lord Shao of Shao Prefect?" Shao Yunduan nodded. "Yes, I am." "Greetings, Lord." "Greetings, Lord." Deputy Prefect Guan promptly bowed with a smile. "I've eagerly awaited Lord Shao day and night." "You've finally arrived. My lord, you're too discreet. It would have been better to send notice ahead, allowing me to greet you outside the city upon receiving the news." "It wasn't intentional. Hee. We were pressed for time. Please forgive us, Lord." Understanding, Shao Yunduan, looking fatigued, nodded. "I appreciate your understanding. You may go for now. We can discuss matters later." "Deputy Prefect Guan, is it? Lead me to the back office." Yes. My lord, please come in. You must be exhausted from the journey. Head to the back office and rest." Deputy Prefect Guan eagerly nodded, dismissing everyone. He then guided Shao Yunduan and the others to the rear entrance of the government office. In his 40s or 50s, Deputy Prefect Guan possessed a sturdy middle-class physique with slightly dark skin. His thick, black eyebrows overshadowed his pupils, creating a distinctive appearance. Despite his friendly demeanor and constant smiles, he seemed good-tempered, showering Shao Yunduan with flattery and praise as they walked. Qiao Xian was deeply moved by the conversation, finding it remarkably familiar, as if they were long-lost friends finally reunited. As they strolled through the back office, they entered the courtyard, where a few servants from the back office warmly greeted them. Deputy Prefect Guan rushed to summon them for assistance with the horses and luggage, but Songsher intervened. With a friendly smile, Songsher spoke, "Our lord and madam have minimal luggage. We can handle it ourselves. There's no need to trouble everyone." The servants turned their gaze toward Deputy Prefect Guan. Observing Shao Yunduan's silence, Deputy Prefect Guan burst into laughter and exclaimed, "In that case, thank you all for your efforts." Before the new year, the former prefect had fled with his entourage, leaving Deputy Prefect Guan to welcome Shao Yunduan and his party this time. While not small, the prefect's back office was divided into the east and west yards, with Shao Yunduan and his companions settling in the east yard. Besides the two courtyards, there was also a spacious garden spanning about 3 to 4 mu. The garden featured pavilions, flowers, wood structures, flowing water, and a rockery. Due to the humid climate and abundant forests, the vegetation in the garden thrived, boasting flourishing flowers and trees. The east courtyard comprised 3 smaller courtyards, totaling more than 30 houses, along with facilities such as a kitchen, storeroom, and stable. Although the east courtyard had been tidied up, the furniture was incomplete, and curtains were lacking. The servants' kitchen was well organized, but the master's kitchen stood empty. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1644. Pride Lixia and Liqiu assisted Qiao Xian as they helped him out of the wagon. This was the scene that greeted them upon entering the yard and the main house. Deputy Prefect Guan wore an apologetic expression. "I'm truly sorry, Lord Shao." The former prefect took all the furniture with him or sold it when he departed. He had personally purchased those items. "Shall I arrange for someone to buy replacements from the shop?" "No need. It's a minor matter. I'll handle it myself." "Ah, that's good. Lord, I'm sure you have excellent taste. Choosing things personally will ensure they suit your preferences. I'll have someone take your guys to the market later." Shao Yunduan responded non-committally. "Deputy Prefect Guan, I appreciate your efforts today. Once everything is settled, I'll host a banquet to express my gratitude to all of you. In the days ahead, I'll rely on Deputy Prefect Guan for various matters. I hope you won't find me too bothersome." No, Lord, you jest." Deputy Prefect Guan beamed, waving his hands. "I've always been at your service. I'll follow your orders. If there's anything you need me to do, just say the word." I'll gladly share your burdens by providing all the information I possess. I wouldn't dare trouble you with unnecessary expenses. Once we're settled, I'll host a banquet for you. Ha ha ha. With a smile, Shao Yunduan exchanged a few more pleasantries before Deputy Prefect Guan took his leave. However, just as Deputy Prefect Guan was about to depart, Xiao Xian suddenly addressed him with a hint of pride. Deputy Prefect Guan, isn't it? When is Mrs. Guan planning to pay her respects? If it's too late, tell her not to come today. She can return tomorrow. I'm tired and would like to rest early. Deputy Prefect Guan was taken aback, quickly putting on a smile and offering profuse apologies. Yes. She is not feeling well today, so she didn't make an appearance. Please forgive me, Madam Shao. Tomorrow, when she feels better, I'll definitely ask her to come over to pay the respects. Xiao Xian remained unyielding, scoffing. Not feeling well? What a coincidence. She stopped just short of accusing her of feigning illness. Even though Deputy Prefect Guan possessed a smooth tongue and eloquence, Xiao Xian's words caught him off guard. In his view, maintaining mutual respect and harmony was essential. Everyone should be in good spirits. Encountering someone who didn't show any courtesy was genuinely. Nevertheless, Deputy Prefect Guan, resembling a benevolent Buddha, recovered swiftly from his momentary surprise, and his face soon lit up with smiles once again. His smile exuded warmth. Haha, Madam Shao, you do have a knack for humor. My wife has always been delicate. Just a few days ago, she was mentioning you and eagerly anticipating your arrival. Xiao Xian's expression softened slightly. She shot him a glance and said nothing more. After exchanging a few more pleasantries, Deputy Prefect Guan truly took his leave. Songshi dismissed the 2 men and 2 maidservants who had been serving in the courtyard. Closing the courtyard door, everyone set to work, carrying luggage and dividing tasks. Inside the main room, an arhut bed, an 8-seat table, chairs flanking each side of the table, a long table, and an immovable ancient shelf partition were the only furnishings. Taking charge, Shao Yunduan directed Wuxia, Liqiu, and the others to prepare the arhut bed. He assisted Xiao Xian in sitting down, saying, "Wife, take a rest. Wuxia, head to the kitchen and boil some hot water. Retrieve the box of snacks and place it on the table so we can satisfy our hunger. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 1645. Harmony on surface. Xiao Xian's hunger was unmistakably apparent, and she couldn't bear the pangs any longer. She smiled and asserted, "I'm not that delicate." Shao Yunduan remarked, "You're not squeamish, you're pregnant." This prompted another laugh from Xiao Xian. Glancing at him, she inquired, "Husband, what's your impression of Deputy Prefect Guan?" Recalling Xie Jingguang's insights, Shao Yunduan replied, "As Brother Xie mentioned, Deputy Prefect Guan is quite diplomatic. Though exceedingly amiable, such individuals often prove challenging to befriend. After all, some could effortlessly wear a smile in public but backstab without a second thought. Some executed the act with a cool detachment, without a hint of hesitation. Before arriving in An's province, both Shao Yunduan and Xiao Xian had heard that Deputy Prefect Guan belonged to the latter category. Despite the changing prefects in An's, Deputy Prefect Guan had maintained his position for a decade. Surviving contentedly in such an environment required a shrewd and resilient character. Throwing a glance at Xiao Xian, Shao Yunduan sighed. "Why did you provoke him just now?" Xiao Xian smiled, proudly straightening her back. "I'm the prefect's wife, a local tyrant. Why can't I be a bit assertive? Being overly kind isn't necessary here. Initiating a confrontation, putting someone in their place, or establishing dominance provides an advantageous position. Let them understand that I'm not someone to be trifled with. It will help them exercise restraint. Didn't we agree on this?" Shao Yunduan sighed with a helpless smile. While they had discussed such strategies before, he hadn't anticipated Xiao Xian's pregnancy. Now aware of her condition, he preferred avoiding unnecessary risks. His current priority was to lead a stable and conservative life until after she gave birth. However, he hadn't found the time to discuss this with her during the journey. Initially, she had intended to settle in quietly. Little did he expect her to deliberately stir trouble and embarrass others the moment they arrived. Facing her question now, Shao Yunduan refrained from blaming her for her impulsiveness and instead commended her, saying, "My wife has an excellent memory. I haven't thought of it yet." Xiao Xian felt a surge of pride. Shao Yunduan spoke gently. "Regardless, you are carrying a life inside you now. Always prioritize your well-being and that of our child and mother. We can address everything else later, but your safety is paramount." Xiao Xian's heart warmed, and she gazed down at her belly with a smile. "Don't worry. I'll protect him." Her concern for her child surpassed everything else. Without the protection of her superpower, she might not have acted so impulsively. Although the superpower's energy had halved, Xiao Xian felt reassured, sensing that the other half was safeguarding the baby in her womb. Xianxia poured hot water and arranged snacks on the table. Shao Yunduan tasted the tea, offering it to Xiao Xian. Thirsty and hungry, Xiao Xian ceased talking, focusing on drinking water and eating. After a while, Xianxia entered and provided a detailed report. The courtyard was now empty, and numerous items needed purchasing. He presented a lengthy list for the two masters to review. Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan were indifferent to whether the former prefect had sold off the furniture or if Deputy Prefect Guan intended to make things difficult for them. Money was not a concern for them. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1646. Mrs. Guan's dissatisfaction. They paid little attention to the possessions of others. Despite N's province not being the most prosperous or bustling, it was, after all, a sizable city with several furniture stores. They could easily procure what they needed. Reviewing the extensive list, Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan handed it to Xianxia. "It's getting late. Arrange for someone to purchase these items individually. Preferably, acquire ready-made pieces. If not, place orders and ensure they're ready in the coming days." Xianxia agreed and set off to make the necessary arrangements. Fortunately, the bustling time allowed everyone to split up for shopping. The small kitchen soon had a complete set of pots, pans, cooking utensils, various foods, firewood, and seasonings such as oil, salt, soy sauce, and vinegar. Daily necessities like furniture, beds, wardrobes, tables, and chairs were also acquired. Customizing curtains, chairs, and other items would take a few days but could be expedited with payment. Shao Yunduan contemplated going out to explore the area, mingle with the locals, and learn more about N's prefecture city. While Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan stayed in the room, Lixia and Liqiu knew precisely what to buy, leaving Xianxia in charge of the rest. They instructed Qing Yan to reserve a few tables of dishes from a nearby restaurant, to be delivered later when dinner time approached. With the day drawing to a close, preparing a home-cooked meal would be impractical. As Deputy Prefect Guan left the east courtyard, he maintained a smiling facade. However, upon entering the west courtyard where his family resided, the smile faded. Inside the house, Mrs. Guan, munching on melon seeds, eagerly clapped her hands demanding, "How was it? How was the Shao family?" Deputy Prefect Guan chuckled, envisioning Shao Yunduan's fatigued expression and the scrutinizing, disappointed glances. "Not much to report. I doubt they'll last long here either. None of those officials seem like they can endure this place for an extended period." "That's right," Mrs. Guan sneered. "I heard he's a young primus, a scholar whose head is filled with lofty ideals. He's pedantic and daydreams about romance all the time. How can someone like him endure the hardships? People of his kind won't last long in our place." Growing more agitated, she continued, "In my opinion, you've endured this forsaken place for so many years. Even if you haven't received proper recognition, you've worked hard. Moreover, you've made contributions. Without you, would this place have remained stable for so long? The position of the prefect should have been rightfully yours a long time ago. I don't understand what the imperial court is thinking. These prefects come and go like a revolving door, treating this place like a market. Yet, the imperial court keeps sending people one after another. Humph, I want to see when the imperial court will wake up. Only then will I know that you are the most suitable to be the prefect." Hearing this, Deputy Prefect Guan felt a twinge of indignation. Another superior had arrived, and this immediate comparison fueled his frustration. Waving his hand dismissively, he said, "Enough, there's no need for such talk. The imperial court has its own considerations. As for me, I'll just focus on doing my job. Mrs. Guan sneered again. These prefects who come and go like a revolving door are mere decorations. The clay bodhisattva in the temple that can breathe is all thanks to you. Deputy Prefect Guan frowned, feeling even more exasperated. Enough, don't say such things. I'm just a deputy prefect. Prefects' matters are inherently my concerns. Discuss these matters within the house. Don't spread rumors outside. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible.